All right, welcome one and all. It's Thursday already. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. You know, we've got a lot of things have happened in the last, well, really just 12 hours, but in the last 24 hours, just boatloads of things have happened, and I'm going to cover quite a few on the program. I might go a little fast through some of the issues. I don't know. Your calls are welcome. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I'm first going to start with the story of Comey and Letitia James. Their indictments are coming, reported by NBC News, who are like their best friends. You know, this is, I would call it MAGA Christmas, really. The Comey and Letitia James Christmas, a little early. And it's about time. You know, what Comey and Letitia James have done, and they're not alone, is criminal beyond imagination. You know, Letitia James, I'll start with her first. Attorney General of New York. You know, she's responsible for a lot of harassment and legal troubles for President Trump. But the one in particular, the high-profile one, was on the property value of Mar-a-Lago. And I don't even know why that's a New York case. It's here in Palm Beach. By the way, the Palm Beach County Commission, I don't know, about 2 months ago, maybe longer, but about 2 months ago, the Palm Beach County Commission renamed Southern Boulevard from the Palm Beach International Airport to Mar-a-Lago. They renamed that Donald John Trump Boulevard. And then if you go west of the airport, it's named after one of those police officers that died in that bizarre accident a while back. When are they going to change the signs? I was shocked at the Palm Beach County Commission because I always thought of them as liberal. Things have changed, obviously. But they've changed the name to Donald John Trump Boulevard. It still says Southern Boulevard on the I-95 exit signs and entrance signs. And I drove the road all the way to Mar-a-Lago. All the street signs at every intersection still say Southern Boulevard. What's going on? Okay, why have those signs not been changed to Donald John Trump, or at least Donald J. Trump, if it's too much space, Boulevard? Whoever is in charge of the signs in Palm Beach County is sabotaging this entire thing. But anyway, with Letitia James, I'll start with her first, and then we'll get to the big kahuna, who's Comey. But in the high-profile case with Letitia James, it was about the property value of Mar-a-Lago. The property value of Mar-a-Lago, Eric Trump said $1 billion. I would say even more than that. I would say it's priceless. It's already a landmark site, a historical landmark, before Trump even bought it. A president of the United States lives there, and President Trump is not going to let them do to Mar-a-Lago what they did to the Kennedy compound. You know what they did to the Kennedy compound in Palm Beach? They tore it down. There's a new house there now. And they did that quite some time ago. That's such a shame, isn't it? Yeah. But President Trump, I imagine, will be buried at Mar-a-Lago one day in 50 years or so when he passes. But the property case, this just blows my mind. And I'm watching all these people cover the Letitia James indictment that NBC News is reporting is coming soon. So she brought this, what she brought against President Trump was a mortgage fraud case, right? That he had monkeyed around with the property value of Mar-a-Lago, which is absurd. And it was a mortgage fraud case. And it turns out she was the one doing the mortgage fraud. And she brought a phony case against President Trump on the crimes that she has been doing, allegedly. And I haven't heard anyone bring that out in any of this press coverage in the 12 hours since this Letitia James story broke. And that's why she was able to go through and craft all these fictions because she knows how mortgage fraud works. So she just basically wrote down, I guess, everything she allegedly has done. Emphasis on allegedly. But we know. Come on. And that just blows my mind. And then Comey, what has come out is that he's going to be indicted on lying to Congress. And people are like, oh, lying to Congress. So that's not what, all this stuff. I don't care what they indict him on. People go to prison for lying to Congress and lying to federal agents. These perjury traps that Comey and the FBI are famous for. You get them on what you can get them on. Remember, they didn't get Al Capone on any of the murders he committed. So if they get Comey on lying to Congress, that's fine by me. I mean, I'd rather get him on some of the bigger things, but Comey is the ringleader of the entire coup against President Trump, no doubt in my mind. Now, we're never going to get Obama, okay? Obama. No one, he's a president of the United States and the first black president of the United States. No one's going to indict Obama. So you got to take that off the table. He should be, because he's a criminal, but he's the one who brought Comey and Clapper and Brennan and the others, Loretta Lynch and others, into the Oval Office and organized a coup while President Trump was president-elect. And what they did is falsify national intelligence reports to bring about the Mueller investigation of Russian interference and collusion to get him impeached. And their hope was, and this is what their plan was, it was to remove him from office. They thought that the Russian interference narrative would cause so much pain and embarrassment. They thought President Trump might actually resign from office. They didn't know he's not a quitter. They thought he might resign from office, or that they might even get a conviction in the Senate and have him removed from office. And Comey is the ringleader of all of this from that very first bug that was planted at Trump Tower, right, with the stroke warrants and everything else. So Comey, I believe, even after he left the FBI, has been the leader of the coup team against Trump for over 10 years. But if we get him on lying to Congress, that's fine by me. I really don't care what we get him on. Do you? I mean, I'd like to get him on everything. But if they get him on lying to Congress and he does some time, that's fine by me. And I really hope that when these indictments come down of Letitia James and of Comey, that they do a high-profile arrest on television. Bring Newsmax and Fox News and News Nation and bring them with you while you are arresting Comey and Letitia James. They should do the arrest at the same time, and we could have a split screen. One side of the screen, the Comey arrest, the other side of the screen, the Letitia James arrest. Put cuffs on them and perp walk them. And by the way, you want to do the arrest like they did Roger Stone and others, you do it at 5 or 6 in the morning. That's what I want to see. And when I saw, I did hear, I don't know, a couple of days ago that a Comey indictment was coming, but it wasn't from like the most credible source. I'm like, I don't know. And then yesterday when NBC reported it, I knew it was true, because NBC, I mean, this is like their best friend, Comey and Letitia James. They call her Tish over there, right? Tish. All these anchors on MSNBC keep calling her Tish James. They can call her inmate number whatever soon enough. And I'm very excited about this. And, the one thing I've told you guys this through the whole thing, all these coup conspirators against President Trump, they don't think they're criminals. They think they are patriots. They're all mental patients, okay? And don't expect them to be upset. And what Comey's team's going to... Letitia James isn't hooked up like Comey. Comey's going to be much more arrogant. She'll be arrogant too, but what Comey's tactic will be is to drag this out as long as possible, thinking that the next president is going to be a Democrat president. We're not going to have, and they'll toss everything and pardon all these people. But that's not going to happen. There's not going to be a Democrat president for a long time, I'm here to tell you. I got to talk to you guys about Dr. Appleton. You know, his laser away pain treatment is absolutely amazing. And I was talking the other day, I went to see Dr. Appleton on Saturday to record some new commercials that were going to be playing on the radio soon. And it was the first time I had gone to Dr. Appleton's office when I had not injured myself or was in pain. So I was talking to him in a little more detail about the laser and how it works, and in particular my knee, because I'd suffered with knee pain for about 30 years from a car accident I was in long ago. And he explained to me, and I'd heard him say this before, but when you're in pain, you hear things, but all you're interested in is the pain going away, right? And he treated me twice for my knee pain, and 30 years of suffering gone after 2 treatments, and has not returned. And it's been over 3 years since that first treatment. He's rid me of pain a total of 7 times. But he was telling me, he says his laser, it's not just any old laser. It's a robotic laser. And what it does is it moves around the entire area. So the robotic laser, and Dr. Appleton performs all these treatments himself, never an assistant. It went completely around my knee, and it treated every angle of my knee. And his laser goes in deep, too. You can't feel it. It's 100% painless. You don't feel it. The top, the sides, the bottom, underneath the knee, the whole thing. And that's why it worked, and nothing's returned. But, the laser actually repairs the damage that's causing the pain. So give Dr. Appleton a call. Now, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome. But get this. The consultation is free. It's a no-charge consultation. Here's the number. Go see Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. Oh, man. If you're on hold, stand by. If you want to call in, the number's pinned in the line chat.
Have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Cage sent you.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with Attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how Attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of...
Yeah, Vic told me the dial position last week, but Scott told me a totally different one on the total other side of the dial. So I don't know.
I would go with this thing.
Yeah, I would too, yeah.
So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything, and I ended up...
We're talking about, we're going to be on a new radio station, and they told me the dial position. I'm not allowed to tell you guys. And then I was talking to the sales manager, and he told me a complete different dial position on the other side of the dial. So, and I just found out that I'm like the only person that the management told the new station to. They didn't tell Mike or anyone. So I'm like, they told me not to tell anybody. I'm glad I did, because they told no one.
Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA.
The engineers are working on the tower, apparently.
855-FLA 3782 and online SiegelLawGroup.com.
All right, we'll be back in just a second.
If you're looking for a retirement advisor, you don't trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to jupiterjoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know-It-All. Great book. Call 561-743.
All right, if you're on hold, hang in there.
Or remember, go to JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm going to mention this a couple times in case, Joe Thomas is coming in later, and I'm just saying this so Joe can hear. I brought a camera so that I can show Joe Thomas on YouTube, which I've never done before. So, and the camera I brought is my DJI Pocket Mini 3, which is a 4K camera. So the reason I'm saying that is just, in case if you're going to the golf course, you want to put the nice golf course. In radio stations, people don't typically dress that nice. Okay, you never know. Joe always dresses nice. We want to make sure today will be the day he doesn't. Right when I bring in the 4K camera. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. This is what we've been waiting for. The indictments of Comey and Letitia James, both being reported by NBC, coming. And it looks like these indictments are coming from that supermodel that Trump made the acting United States attorney in Virginia there, Lindsay. I forget her last name. She was with a law firm in Fort Lauderdale for quite some time, and she's not messing around. And I kind of like the idea that she's kind of out of that loop. All right, let's take a call or two. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Yep. Hello. Yes. You're on the air. What's your name?
Good morning.
Yeah. Turn down the volume of whatever device you're listening to me on there. There's a delay.
Yeah, I just did. Anyway, I'm really excited that there are these arrests coming, and we waited for 8-9 months, but it's fantastic.
Well, 9 months isn't that long when you think about such a complex case, especially against someone like Comey. Comey is a dangerous guy. You got to have everything in order to go after that guy.
Well, is he going to be charged with treason?
We don't know yet. What do you mean just lying to Congress? That's a federal felony. You go to prison for lying to Congress.
Well, let's hope so.
No, you go to prison for that. I mean, these people, is he going to go to... The chances of the treason, that's a much higher bar. Lying to Congress is a much lower bar, easier to prove, because you got him on tape, right? We got all the evidence. And you can push the thing through quick and get him locked up. You go for some big treason. It could take 10 years to get the trial with a case like that.
Oh, thank you. That's a good point. Well, yeah. What was the mafia? I mean, Al Capone, like you said.
That's right.
Murders he got away with, but we got him on income tax.
See, we got to do it quick while we're in place, and we got this mandate going on. You never know what's going to happen down the road, So we control everything. You want to push something through that we can get the conviction through fast.
That's true. Well, I know you got other calls.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Take care. He was on hold before the show started. He's been hanging for a while. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey there. I think there might be something going on with your phones. I was getting the audio from your last call there.
Nothing's going on with the phones. No. That's just the delay. You'll never catch me off guard. No, that's just, that's our delay.
All right. My apologies. My name's Chester. I'm calling from Idaho. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Chester. What's up?
So on Tuesday, there was a new development in Trump's policy on the Russia-Ukraine war where he made a dramatic shift away from urging Zelensky to accept concessions of territory to Russia, now claiming that Ukraine is in a position, with the support of the EU, to fight and win all of Ukraine back. Reform. Considering that you were particularly enthusiastic about Trump's policy previous to Tuesday, stating that Trump's summit with Putin in Alaska had ended the war, Are you disappointed at all that Trump no longer wants Ukraine to make these concessions?
I'm very surprised that you called and asked me that very long-winded question, because, the reason I'm surprised is because you called me a couple days ago on my podcast with the very same question. Yeah, I remember. How could I forget Chester from Idaho? But I'll answer it again. I will answer it. I will answer the question again. Okay. I don't know why you need to hear it again.
I might have made myself unclear, and if I did, I'm sorry. So this is a new development from Tuesday that Trump actually now wants Ukraine.
Yeah, I know. I understand. There was you asked the same question in a different way a couple days ago. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. No, it's the same thing in a different. Here's the thing. Do you want an answer or not? You got to stop talking for me to answer, or you just want to keep asking questions over?
Go for it.
Things changed. The situation changed.
How do you think it changed? Well, I'm just saying, like, what?
President Trump, this war that Joe Biden gave Putin the okay for, and is responsible for happening. Yeah, and Biden told him he could take part of Ukraine. He didn't say how much, but he said he could take part of it, and Putin did. But what has happened is President Trump has met with Putin, right, in Alaska. They've talked many times, and Putin's a crazy man who will not end the war for whatever reason, and Trump has given up on trying to negotiate a peace with Russia, and we're backing Ukraine 100% now.
Trying to give him the Ukraine territory before. What were you enthusiastic about now? That, like,
well, see, you're in Idaho. What I was enthusiastic about was for the killing to stop. There are people every day that are dying. There were Russians and Ukrainians, and even there's a lot of foreign fighters. There's a lot of North Koreans fighting for Russia that they've drafted from North Korea. I was enthusiastic that people would stop dying.
Enthusiastic that Trump's policy to get Ukraine to concede the territory to Russia would help people to stop dying. Are you disappointed now, or do you think that people will not stop dying now that?
Well, people eventually the war will end. Eventually, when, I don't know. It would have been nice but Putin's a crazy person.
August. I thought you said the war ended in August.
Well, President Trump was trying to end it in August.
Said he did end the war.
Well, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
So what do you think? You got me because I have some thumbnail on YouTube from August. Do you think you've got something on me? Yeah, this is the same thing you asked me about 2 days ago. We had the same conversation on my podcast like 2 days ago.
The story's changed. There's been a new development.
Well, that's right. So when things develop, you have to change what you're doing. I mean, if you're, I gave it to you.
All right. Well, hey, listen. Before I go, I just want to say that I know that, like, when Charlie Kirk died, you and he basically had the same job. That would have rattled me a lot. I hope you're doing okay. It was a very scary time. I was very scared.
Why were you scared?
Because it was extremely upsetting. It made me so sad. I cried about it. Not even being sarcastic.
Well, why? I'll ask you a question. Yesterday we had another liberal Democrat lunatic go on a shooting spree in Dallas, Texas, at the ICE facility, killed an illegal. I mean, what is up with you liberals out there? Why are your Democrat allies killing people?
Well, I don't think it's just a liberal problem, but I think...
Really? It's not a liberal... It is a liberal problem. Dallas, Charlie Kirk...
Kirking responsibility, yes. I think that the guy who killed Charlie Kirk was basically like a Luigi Mangione, like, copycat killer. I'm not...
Where are these MAGA killers? You said it's on both sides.
What about that lawmaker in Minnesota?
No, that was a Democrat. I've gone through this every day on the show. A Democrat killed her for voting with Republicans in the House. I'm not going to go through that story again. I've gone through it every day for 2 weeks. No, where are the MAGA killers?
Political violence for left-leaning and right-leaning people over the last, like, 10 years, you'll find overwhelmingly it's like right-leaning people who are carrying out most of these murders.
Really? Excuse me. Where was the political assassination? Where was? Oh no, yeah. Where is the political assassination that was carried out by a MAGA person? When was that?
A political? I didn't say there were political assassinate. Whatever. This is completely off topic.
No, you're off topic. I'm the host. I decide what the topic are. This guy, he's very confused. I don't even know if he remembers asking me the same question 2 or 3 days ago on my podcast. I don't know. Oh my goodness. All right. What am I going to talk about here? Oh yes. Do you have neuropathy? If you do, holy smokes. You know, neuropathy, I didn't know what it was until Steve had it. It is god-awful. It is painful. You know, if the dizziness, the falling down all the time. And I remember as a kid, my great-grandmother used to fall down all the time. She was always breaking stuff, bones. And I bet she had neuropathy, right? Yeah, bet she had neuropathy. You know, the dizziness, the feeling of the pins and needles, the burning, the tingling, all those symptoms. And what's crazy is your doctor will tell you, your primary care physician, your neurologist, they'll tell you there's no treatment for neuropathy. Well, that's not true. There is a treatment at Lighthouse Medical in Pompano. They have a treatment that works and a treatment that lasts. They treated Steve for his neuropathy, and he had the worst case you could possibly imagine of neuropathy. They treated him, and 3 years later, his neuropathy has not returned. They can help you no matter where you are located, okay? They're in Pompano, and if you can make it in person, that's great. But if you can't, whether you're local, another part of South Florida, or in another state, they can still help you with your neuropathy. In fact, listeners of ours from all over Florida and the United States have called Lighthouse Medical and are now living a neuropathy-free life. It's a free consultation. If you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve
Oh my goodness.
Show with Brian Craig. Now, here's the true
Exactly.
Today will be sunny and the thunderstorms likely with a high of 85 degrees. Into the evening, a chance of thunderstorms with a low of 79 degrees. On Friday, a high of 87 degrees with a chance of thunderstorms. Into the evening on Friday, another chance of thunderstorms with a low of 79 degrees.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On Okeechobee Boulevard, watching for construction at Haverhill.
I was just texting someone. I had a funny thing happen with my Apple Watch, which I'll...
Spot something on the roads, call the traffic.
Bizarre.
Pound 250, keyword westbound traffic. I'm Ron Hurst.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's a great time to visit the UFC with Cobra, table games, and super TV action. Watch and wait for the biggest races in the sport of kings. The paddock is the perfect place to catch all the OTB and sports action. Over 140.
If you want to call in, the toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. We'll be back shortly, guys.
City Kia of Greater Orlando, right off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Kia announces no tariff increase to you, the consumer. Kia should be #1 on your shopping list. The City Kia Battle of Brands is back and bigger than ever. Looking for a new Toyota, Honda, Chevy, Nissan, or Hyundai? Stop! Please don't pay more for less. City Kia takes them all on. We will beat any ballot offer in the USA by $500 to pay you $1,000. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. Upside out on your trade. City Kia to the rescue. Get up to $5,000 over KBB fair market value. Rates as low as 0%. Savings up to $15,000. Get all the details at citykia.com. This statewide sales event will be held at one location only. City Kia of Greater Orlando, right off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. It's City Kia's Battle of the Brands. Visit us at citykia.com.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Roofing.
Homeowners, condo associations, and HOA communities are being threatened by their insurance companies.
Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. We're on a break here for the bottom of the hour.
Evaluation of your roofs. Test the conditions of the materials, suggest repairs, set maintenance schedules, and write letters to your insurance companies. We are also state of Florida general contractors, which carry a lot of weight when dealing with insurance companies. We recently had a property management company call us to evaluate 2 multi-story condo buildings. Each were in aging condition. We performed a full evaluation, built a case with focused repairs and maintenance that the roofs had up to 5 years left. The insurance companies granted the associations additional time. Homeowners, condo, and HOA associations, give me a call at 954-604-4602 to set up an evaluation so we can help you with your insurance company. That number again is 954-604-4602 or find us at laportaroofing.com.
Don't you hate it when you buy something online and then you get slapped with a huge shipping charge at checkout? Not at mypillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders $100 or more when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com. This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more. Order now at mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the air.
All right, we are back. Calls on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You know that last caller, they always want to try to catch you on something. You know, if you're talking on the air like 7 to 10 hours a day like I'm doing, on occasion, you might say something that later on with developments you might have to rethink. I mean, you know. But if that's the best you got. But yesterday, I had a story, and one of the first calls of the day was a liberal starting with a lie. And that was about the escalator sabotage of President Trump at the United Nations. And he said, oh, it was Trump's cameraman. President Trump fired off a post on Truth Social that's like 350 words about that, okay? It was not his cameraman. There was major sabotage. And he even talked about how the sharp metal stairs, it could have killed him. And there's a very serious investigation going on about that. And it's just a god-awful thing. And I bring that up because see, Jimmy Kimmel's going to get a boost in the ratings for a day or two. I watched online his monologue from last night, the part where he was talking about Trump and the escalator, and he just thought it was hilarious and funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. You know, the president's been shot. There's been multiple assassination attempts against him, both domestic or liberals, you know, Iran and others. And when something like that happens and he's stationary, he's in danger. But here's the thing. I have watched 2 nights in a row of Jimmy Kimmel's monologue. Okay? I watched the first night, I watched the whole thing. Last night I watched a little bit of it. I watched the part where he was talking about Trump and the escalator, and he was also played a clip of Jesse Waters and said something. And I'm going to tell you, this is not because I don't like him. Okay, and he's liberal. He has no talent. You know, a couple of Democrat conventions ago, Al Franken, remember he was the senator from Minnesota, but he was one of the writers on the original Saturday Night Live. He was in the cast of Saturday Night Live. And he did he went at the Democrat National Convention and did a comedy routine, like stand-up comedy. And he was attacking Trump and MAGA. I talked about it the next day. It was funny. It was actually really funny because he's a talented comedian. He's a liberal jerk. And I'm sure he regrets resigning from the Senate. He screwed up when he did something that was juvenile and stupid with a woman on an airplane, but he could have weathered that if he didn't resign. But it was funny. I mean, I didn't like what it was funny. When at the DNC, and he was really making fun of all of us MAGA people. Jimmy Kimmel is not funny. I give you an example. He played a clip of Jesse Waters from this week talking about the left-wing media. And then he says, well, this thing about the left-wing media, I've got to rethink that. Where's the joke? Where's the humor? And I got to tell you, he's an embarrassment to what used to be something that was great with talented people, late night television. And I don't watch late night television because I'm asleep before primetime TV comes on because of the hours I have. And all that I see is this stuff through clips and things on social media. Jimmy Fallon, you know, he's got this thing going where he sings with everybody. And I've seen some of that. It's kind of funny. That James Corbin guy, he used to do that singing thing. Although the thing with Jimmy Fallon, isn't it getting a little old? Okay, you've sung with everybody. You're driving around in the car, you know. But he's got a talent there that's kind of funny. You know, he does it, you know, does some funny things. But Jimmy Kimmel is negative talent. And I don't say that because I don't like him. He just is not funny. And, you know, on some level, I think he knows that. And the reason I say that I think he knows that is when he was telling these jokes that were really, I thought, this is from his monologue last night, were bombing with his sycophantic audience, and he's not getting the reaction from the audience of people that love him that he thinks he should get, meaning laughs, you know you suck, all right? I mean, in fact, the people that are in the audience now are hardcore liberals. That's like a hot ticket right now in town to get a Jimmy Kimmel ticket, right? It's a hot ticket. So the people that are getting it, they're jumping through some hoops and everything else, and they're fans, and they're liberal and everything else, and even they are not laughing. I'll tell you another one who's very left-wing, but is very funny, is Bill Maher. Bill Maher, you know, I hear him tell jokes at our expense, and I hate to say it, sometimes they're pretty good. Although I think he's been red-pilled and is hiding it to a large extent. But yeah, he can be funny. But Jimmy Kimmel, no talent. No talent at all. At all. And in fact, out of all the late night hosts I've ever seen, he has the least amount of talent. Well, that's just my opinion. You know, that's who cares. But again, it's not because he's liberal. All entertainers are liberal. If I didn't like entertainers that were liberal, you know, I've been blocked by people that I am huge fans of, actors and stuff in Hollywood that I'm big fans of, have blocked me. I don't even know how they know who I am. Because sometimes I'm watching, I tell you, like the Star Trek people are the ones that really burn me because, you know, I'm like, pretty much every cast member that is active on Twitter, except George Takei from Star Trek, has blocked me. I don't even know how they know who I am. And I found this out a couple years ago when they had this new Star Trek series, Star Trek Picard, and I tweeted, what, Jerry Ryan blocked me? Will Wheaton had a book, an autobiography. I bought the book and read the book. And I go to tweet that I like the book and I can't tag him. I'm like, what's going on? Will Wheaton blocked me. James Gunn, that guy from Superman, he blocked me. How does James Gunn even know who I am to block me? I don't know. I was tweeting that have you seen Superman, Mike? It sucks. And I was going to tweet that it sucks, and I can't tag James Gunn because he blocked me. And I was like, wow, how does he even know to block me? You know, I don't know. I don't know how any of these people know me, but they do. And, you know, so this happens. By the way, are they violating my First Amendment that Kimmel was talking about? You know, but, you know, if you don't enjoy entertainers that are liberal, you're not going to have a lot of entertainment to watch because they're all liberal. And I kind of tune that out when I'm watching a lot of things. All right, well, let me get to a couple of things, and then we'll break, and then I'll get to some of the main stories of the day, because there's a lot going on to cover. But that new Superman movie, it is so bad. I mean, I don't understand this, okay? The new Superman movie is on HBO Max. So if you got HBO Max, you get it for free. I drive by a movie theater on Hillsborough Boulevard yesterday and Military, and it's playing in the theater. So I don't know how that works. How is it on HBO and the theater at the same time? But it is, and I've seen almost, well, I didn't see the last Avengers, but I'm into the superhero movies. That one is the worst movie ever made. All right, now, Megyn Kelly did the first Turning Point USA event since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and she did a Q&A with the audience, and I do have a couple clips I'm going to play after the break, and she did all right. She did good. She did good. But it's not the same as with Charlie Kirk. She did very good. I'm going to play a couple clips after the break, and we'll talk about it. But, you know, Megyn Kelly's in her mid-50s, right? And she is older than most of the parents of these college kids. She's borderline grandmother age to these college kids, right? So it just doesn't have the same effect as it did with Charlie Kirk. And I know he wasn't college age anymore, but he started that whole thing when he was in college. So he kind of like never left college kind of thing, you know what I mean? And it's as good as it is, it's just watching people that are grandparent age that have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and I agree with Megyn Kelly on it, and she has a lot of debate experience. I mean, she went up against Trump. She lost, but she went up against Trump. And she's had a lot of guests over the years, right? So she's got a lot of experience. But to watch people that are grandparent age debate children and whip them and then pat themselves on the back for their great debate skills, it's a little embarrassing. It's just, it really is. I mean, they're talking to children, and I always compare this. A lot of people do this, Ben Shapiro and others. And I always compare it to one of my favorite episodes of Seinfeld when Kramer is in the karate tournament and he's winning the karate tournament. So Jerry, Elaine, and George go to the tournament, and he's with 5 and 6 year old kids, Kramer, and he's beating all of them in the karate tournament at the dojo. Remember that episode? That's what it's like when you have Megyn Kelly or Tucker and these others going up against these college kids. You have very experienced, well-informed adults that are older than their parents fighting children, right, in a debate that don't know anything and then declaring victory like they've done something. I'm not sympathetic to these college kids, and this definitely has to be done, but I'd much rather see it done with people that are not old enough to be the grandmother or the grandfather or older than their parents, right? I'd like to see it with, there are some people, I don't know who offhand. I got a couple people I'd pick, but, you know, come on. And Turning Point has announced, they're doing a lot of these college things, and they've announced where they're going to be and who's going to be there. And like Rob Schneider I like Rob Schneider, very funny. Remember him from Saturday Night Live? He's conservative now. He's MAGA and all this stuff. He's very good. But how old is Rob Schneider? So he's going to go up against an 18-year-old kid and debate them? And then, you know, now I know that I have people of different ages, old, young, and in between that call me, and sometimes a young person will call me, you know, and I get it. But I'm not going up against people that are 35 years younger than me, humiliating them because they're children, and then patting myself on the back for having carried on the tradition of Charlie Kirk or something, right? You know what I mean? Let Megyn Kelly and Tucker go up against adults. Now, they'll still win, but then you won't look so pathetic. There was a guy... Yeah, you guys have heard. I'll say this, then we'll break. I know we're late. Some of you remember Rick Siderman. You've heard me talk about Rick Siderman, Mike. Oh, this guy was great. Rick Siderman. He went to school with Steve in Miami when they were kids. He hated me like the plague, and he was ugly as hell, and almost as fat as he was ugly. And so when he was growing up, he couldn't get girls. But he was a famous radio guy, and he was also a stockbroker. So he was rich and famous, so he could get girls, you know, groupies from the radio station. And he had a speech impediment. And he talked like this. This is how he actually sounded. I'm not, this is exactly how Rick Seidelman sounded. He was on. Steve put him on the air. And, you know, he and I really got into it many times. And he would bring these girls that he was dating that were like 30 years younger than him into the studio. And they were like these college kids. This was before the date. And he would ask them questions like, how many states are there? And they would always get it wrong. Simple questions like that. And he would ask them all these questions. They'd get them all wrong. They were stupid. And he thought it made him look good. You know? And I remember those. Any of you guys remember those shows? I know you're not supposed to talk bad about the dead. He's been dead a long time. It's okay. But that's kind of what it's like when you have Megyn Kelly, who's got to be 55, right? And she's humiliating like an 18-year-old child, and then saying, "Look, I'm carrying on the Charlie Kirk tradition." Come on. You know, it's almost embarrassing. Now, it'd be newsworthy if they got the best of her. Okay, we'll take our break. I'll come back. I'll play the couple clips, and then we'll move on to some other things after the top. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Imagine a world where all your smart devices work together seamlessly in one simple ecosystem. Introducing the Sloman Shield Link. With Sloman Shield Link, transform your home into a truly intelligent smart home experience. Control your lights, heating, and cooling. Doors locked, cameras, TVs, just about anything in your home. Life is busy, and daily stresses add up. But with the Sloman Shield Link, your home tech works in harmony, making life more convenient, safe, and enjoyable. Imagine pulling into your driveway and with one...
Yeah, no, Megyn Kelly and I are the same age, but I'm not out there going to the local schools and debating little kids, right?
It's about comfort and security. With Sloman Shield, enjoy a full integration of home security and automation, all at your fingertips. Make your life easier and your home a safer haven. Learn more at slomans.com or call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Embrace the future of home living with Sloman Shield Link.
This is Steve Kane. Medicare can be confusing. That's why each year at this time, we call Debbie at Iowa Advisors to guide us through every plan, every choice, and every call. Open enrollment is coming up really soon. Some plans are being canceled. Others pulling out of the Medicare market at the end of 2025. Call Debbie. She represents all the major national companies. The number 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. Tell her Steve Kane sent you.
On the line, we have Bruce. Bruce is a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. He heard me talking with Joe Thomas about annuities and what a great deal they are. And he went in with his wife, and now he's a client. Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian.
So tell me about your experience with Jupiter Joe Thomas.
A fine gentleman. We sat down with Joe, and we explained everything to him, and we wrote all our information, and he worked everything out great.
The cool thing about annuities is your money's never at risk. You're guaranteed a revenue stream for the rest of your life, but there's a bonus, really a signing bonus, where you can make a boatload of money before you even leave Joe Thomas's office. Can you talk a little bit about that, Bruce?
Well, that's where I was surprised when we sat down and talked about the bonuses, and to my amazement, it was 10%, and there was even another one that's bigger.
Wow, that's amazing. So you made 10% on your money before you even got back in your car.
Yeah, it was more than that, but it was great.
Listen, guys, do what Bruce did. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. You can set up a free consultation either on the phone or in the office.
We'll be back shortly.
Put together a custom proposal just for you. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online at jupiterjoe.com. All right, Bruce, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Brian.
Hi, it's it's Brian Craig. If you're looking to lose weight and keep it all for good, then look no further than Coastal Weight Loss Secret and their Metabolic Reset Program. It worked for me, and you can lose up to 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. Schedule your free consultation now by calling 561-247-6300 or coastalweightlossecret.com. That's coastalweightlossecret.com. Results may vary.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. So I'm going to play a couple clips from Megyn Kelly. And there's another thing with, and I'm like, I'm not giving, I like Megyn Kelly, okay? I do, she's one of the few shows I do listen to, okay? But what I'm taking issue with is going and beating children up, right? And then acting like you've done something. And another thing she did is she was standing high up on a stage towering over them. Charlie Kirk always sat down. And if you notice, if you go back, not only was Charlie Kirk always sitting down when he'd put the mic down when they were talking. He'd put his mic down. Right? Remember that? He had just picked it up when this monster assassinated him to respond. It was just different things. So let me play the two clips. This is that I'm going to play. There's more. Let me see here. All right, here we go. This is the first one. Megyn Kelly.
Why you support a president who contributes to the rhetoric that got your friend Charlie killed. We saw his rally recently. He said, "I hate my enemies." Stephen Miller said similar things. How can you support him when he contributed to what got Charlie killed?
Assumes facts, not evidence. What you said is not true.
70% of political violence is committed by Republicans.
Oh, did that guy just call me? That sounds like the guy I was just talking to.
Look it up!
That's not
DOJ
true.
just pulled it! The DOJ just pulled it from their website. DOJ just pulled the study from their website because they're delusional.
That's not true, because
they just pulled it. Look it up.
Once you pulled
it from their website.
Once you pull the crazies out of there, it is overwhelmingly left-wing violence.
Google it.
We have had.
I'm just going to tell you, okay? Megyn Kelly's very good, but she's not that good because this guy, and this is why I picked this question. This guy asked her the same question that dope I talked to a little bit asked, right? And I've gotten that from a few people. What was my response compared to hers? She owned up. She says she acknowledges, which is insane because it's not true. Well, it's on both sides, but if you take those out. My question was, give me the example of the MAGA assassination. Who's the MAGA assassin? But she didn't do that, right? She gave a different answer.
DOJ just pulled the study from their website because they're delusional.
That's not true, because
they just pulled it. Look it up.
Once you pulled
it from their website.
Once you pull the crazies out of there, it is overwhelmingly left-wing violence.
Once you pull the crazies out of there, it's overwhelmingly left-wing. It's all left-wing violence. Where's the MAGA? So, here's the thing, okay? Doing debate is not easy. You have to know what you're doing, and she doesn't. Maybe she's rusty. I'll tell you, there was a time when she was still on Fox, and I think this is before she had her prime time show. She was on in the afternoons a little earlier. Maybe it may have been the prime time show. This was many years ago. She scored the biggest interview during the Obama administration. It was with Bill Ayers. Bill Ayers, who was the ghostwriter for Obama's book, one of his best friends was a domestic terrorist who blew up a government building in the 60s and killed a security guard. And he's a tenured professor in Illinois and one of Obama's best friends. She scored this interview. They did like a week of promotion. She didn't ask him one tough question. Remember that? It was really bad. But that's not how you do it. And if this is what they're going to try to replace Charlie Kirk with, the conversion, Charlie Kirk was converting these college kids into MAGA. He was red-pilling them. That's why they shot him, okay? She's not going to convert them. And she's too old for her looks to get by with these young guys, okay? That's not how you convert them. She conceded his point that there's MAGA violence, conservative violence. There isn't any. So this is the first Turning Point USA convince me I'm wrong event since the assassination of Charlie Kirk 2 weeks ago yesterday. And I think it was a disaster. This is not what Charlie Kirk was doing. It was the complete opposite. Charlie Kirk would have asked him, give me an example of the MAGA assassination. Who's the MAGA assassin? They'd probably say the Minnesota thing, who was killed by a Democrat and all that stuff. And boom, you're done. What Megyn Kelly did, I think, was a disaster. Okay, now the next one, though, let's play the next one. The next one I've not listened to. I've not listened to this next clip. But I'm going to play it anyway. Let's listen and see how this goes.
I do disagree, I think, with some of the things that you have said, but I also disagree with some of the things that have been said about Israel in regarding to what Candace Owens has said, what Ben Shapiro has said. But I feel like I do agree with you in the sum that you sometimes will take a more nuanced approach and criticize them or agree with them. But I wanted to ask, I disagree with the Republicans. I feel like they're being vague about Israel. And so I wonder if places, I'm asking for specific people. Do people like Bill Ackman, Robert Shillman, or AIPAC, are they influencing American politicians? Are they influeing popular YouTubers? Are they influencing people like Fox News? And God forbid, are they influencing our president and the decisions that are made?
You might be the one person in America that agrees neither with Ben Shapiro nor with Candace Owens. I don't understand where you are. So I don't know what the answer to that is. Whether.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm going to tell. Oh my goodness. I don't know what the answer is. Let me tell you. They assassinated Charlie Kirk for a few reasons. The main reason is that he was red pilling our college kids. If this is the quality of debate that they're sending out there at Turning Point now, the assassins will have been successful. The red pilling will stop. She's blue pilling people. She's getting whooped by children. If you're on hold, stand by. That was a big mistake. She got creamed. And you know what? I wonder if she thinks she got creamed. I bet she doesn't. All right, we're going to take our break for the top. If you're on hold, hang in there. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this.
WQAM 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the true.
Yeah, that's not good. She got creamed. She got creamed.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On the turnpike, watch for construction from Boynton Beach Boulevard to West Palm Service Plaza. There's road work for Still Boulevard and spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyboard, West Palm traffic.
No, that's I'm gonna call that. I mean, am I being too harsh? Let me know. Call me. I'll go to the phones when we get back. But I don't think she did very well at all. I think she got pretty creamed. Yeah. You guys agree with me that was bad? She does a good show, and I enjoy her show. I do watch her show.
Don't you hate it when you buy something online and then you get slapped with a huge shipping charge at checkout? Not at mypillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders, $100.
But I would say she got creamed.
K-A-N-E at checkout.
She's just not up to that.
This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders, $100 or more. Order now at mypillow.com.
Yeah. I didn't even hear the second one yet. Until I played it live.
numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy
Yeah,
symptoms.
that's bad. She shouldn't do anymore. She should not do anymore. But I don't think she knows she got creamed. I really don't.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
We'll be back right after this.
My holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank accounts, savings, and a house and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything, and I ended up with this wonderful trust for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
Alrighty, we're back. If you're on hold, stand by. I really want to hear what you guys think about Megyn Kelly's performance. I think it was a disaster, and I'll tell you this. The conspirators behind Charlie Kirk's assassination, they assassinated him mainly to stop him from red-pilling America's college students. And Megyn Kelly got destroyed there in those two clips. She's not equipped. I like Megyn Kelly. I do not listen to many shows. I do listen to her show. Not every day, but more than once a week. Okay? I don't listen to a lot of shows, but I listen to hers. I like Megyn Kelly. But she was destroyed. She's not. She's going to blue pill people, and the coup conspirators that are behind the Charlie Kirk assassination. If they've seen that, you know what they're saying? Mission accomplished. The red pilling of our college students is over. And you know we're going to have. I saw Turning Point is saying that they're going to have a chapter at every college and high school at the way they're going in America. Well, if this is what they're going to put out there for debates, we are in trouble. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? This is Jeff from Jacksonville.
Hey, Jeff. What's up?
Hey, listen. I listen to you from time to time, and lately I've been listening, and you have been blaming the left for all the assassinations and all the assassination attempts. And I just want to tell you how wrong you are. You said going way back to Abraham Lincoln, that Abraham Lincoln was assassinated by a Democrat.
Correct.
Not true. No, it was not true. Let me explain. It was not affiliated with any Democratic or Republican parties at the time. There was no.
All right. Okay. You're very wrong. But I understand. You're calling me from one of the bluest cities in the state of Florida, Jacksonville. Okay, where liberals rule. No, but you're a bunch of, well, you live in a dangerous town that's run by people that are very liberal, so you don't know what's going on. But let's talk about John Wilkes Booth for a minute, okay? I mean, John Wilkes Booth, and believe me, I've studied this stuff so much, you know. There's a great book, American Brutus, get that. But I've read so many books about the Kennedy assassinations, the Lincoln assassination. I know all about them. But John Wilkes Booth in particular, his original plan was to kidnap Abraham Lincoln and take him to the South, which was the Democrat Confederate States of America. They were all Democrats. The whole Confederate government were Democrats. That when Lincoln was elected, the Democrats left the Congress and formed the Confederacy, okay? And his plan was to kidnap Lincoln, take him to the South so that they could make a deal to end the war with a truce so the Confederacy still existed. And then Lincoln won re-election, and there's a photograph, which you can see. John Wilkes Booth was at President Lincoln's second inauguration and listened to him speak. And when he realized that he was going to not just free the slaves, but give the black men the vote, he used some language that one of your favorite Democrats, Lyndon Johnson, used. He used the N-word, and it turned into an assassination plot. The Confederate States of America and John Wilkes Booth were all Democrats, and Lincoln was the first Republican president. The Abolitionist Party, he was killed by a Democrat. That's just a fact. I mean, for you to deny that is just bizarre to me.
Melissa Horton.
Also, how many times do I have to talk about? First of all, Melissa Hortman doesn't rise to the level of Charlie Kirk, Abraham Lincoln, JFK, or President Trump. But she was shot. Yeah, it was a political. Yeah, it was. No, she was shot by a Democrat.
The gentleman that shot her.
The gentleman? You call the assassin a gentleman?
Well, listen to what I'm saying. The guy that shot her, okay? His name was Vance Luther Bolter. A right-wing religious fanatic is what he was. He was a right-wing...
No, BS. So, no. So this is... Let me ask you this, okay? It is a fact that he had a state-level position that he was appointed to by Tim Walz, the Democrat governor who was Kamala Harris's running mate in the last election. You mean to tell me that this liberal lunatic, Tim Walz, appointed a Republican right-wing religious fanatic to a state-level position?
Who knew that he was a right-wing fanatic? He's probably a conservative.
No, Melissa, if you go back, listen, go back. I played this on what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to take a segment where I've talked about Melissa Hortman and maybe just rerun that once a show, because I go through this on every show. I don't remember the exact time frame, but not long before Hortman was assassinated, everyone in conservative media was talking about her. I can't remember how long, but it wasn't long before. Everybody was. And what had happened is she was a Democrat, and she was the only Democrat to cross party lines and vote with Republicans in Minnesota to take Medicaid health insurance coverage away from illegal aliens. And that went viral. He was a Democrat. He killed her because of that. And he had a kill list with 50 pro-life people on it that he was going to kill. And he had those No King March flyers in his car. Before Tim Walz, he had that job he was appointed to by the previous Democrat governor of Minnesota. I forgot his name, but the Democrat governor before Walz appointed him to the state level job too. It's BS that he was some MAGA guy. I know they got this fat slob in the Papa John shirt that was sitting on the step of some rundown tenement that said so, but that's not true. He killed her because of what she did.
So what about David DePatney, the one that assaulted Nancy Pelosi's husband, broke into the house and beat him with a hammer?
He was also a liberal. He was not a Republican.
God, dude, you are so brainwashed. It is not.
Okay, I'll explain that one to you. You know, these explanations get shorter every time because I do it every show. I apologize for the repetitive nature of this to you and the audience. Okay, the Pelosi, the Paul Pelosi attacker. All right, you ready? Okay. Yeah, you're in Jacksonville. You gotta know where to go, right? Okay. Jacksonville's a dump. Jacksonville, you're not going to get off. You're not going to stop this explanation by your outrage. Jacksonville's got the murder capital of Florida. Yeah. I got it. I threw a dig in there. That's right. I threw a dig in there. Absolutely. I'm a little annoyed. I've explained this. Yeah, there's no way you haven't heard me explain this before, but we'll talk about Paul Pelosi. Paul Pelosi was having a problem. Nancy Pelosi, when she was out of town, he kept having run-ins with the police. The first one, Nancy Pelosi's in Washington. He's out late at night in his convertible Porsche, and he's leaving some party in California wine country. He gets into an accident, right? He was with someone in the car. We never get any information on who, their gender. There's no police body camera or dash footage ever released. It's not in the reports. And it was a big story. Not long after that, he has this incident at his house. Police show up. Paul Pelosi answers his door in his silk underwear. I mean, it was like crazy. So this guy, this maniac in San Francisco, because I read the stories. It was reported by the local news. He answered the door in silk underwear. It was reported in the news. Okay, I mean, who does that? So he had another incident with this guy. All right, living on the streets of San Francisco. Not many MAGA guys do that. And people, and when that happened, Nancy Pelosi was out of town, and Charlie Kirk was talking about bailing this guy out so we could find out what he was doing, because people were wondering, was he an invited guest, a hookup, or what's going on here? Because Paul Pelosi had this problem. So when this guy goes to court, he says he's MAGA. Well, I don't buy that, because some drug addict living on the streets of San Francisco, I seriously doubt they're MAGA, but Paul Pelosi and Nancy Pelosi were terrified that people were thinking that he was a male prostitute that Paul had hired. People were talking, I'm not saying it's true, but people were talking about that. Then he had this incident in the Porsche in wine country. They made some arrangement to get him to say he was MAGA in court to take the spotlight off of Paul's adventures at night when Nancy's out of town. None of these are MAGA people.
Right. And so let me just ask you something. And I probably already know what you're going to say, but in the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk, which I do not condone, by the way, because I live in Jacksonville, just so we get that record straight. But that assassination and the assassination of illegal immigrants that happened to place yesterday, okay, it's just now coincidental that all of a sudden now these assassins are leaving casings behind with
The guy yesterday in Dallas was another Democrat. He was a Democrat.
Let me finish. It's just a coincidence now that they're finding shell casings with all this rhetoric written on them. How come none of this was showing up before?
Well, this is a new thing. But the guy in Dallas, you're trying to tell me the guy in Dallas was a Republican? He was trying to shoot the ICE agents, but he's a bad shot and stupid. His whole family are liberal lunatics. His mother, they're all liberal lunatics. His whole family.
Then I'm just saying.
In fact, they're saying that he's believed to be Antifa, but he was definitely a communist, which is left.
Just seems that they're quick to put out evidence on television blaming the left all of a sudden.
So you think that there was somebody just on the streets of Dallas with ammunition the same caliber as that rifle that had all this anti-hate ICE stuff written all over it? Come on.
I'm just saying that before you would never see evidence like that broadcasted.
It's something new. It's something new, but they're liberals. There's no MAGA violence going on. There's no MAGA violence.
I know. Yeah, because MAGA has never done any violence, not even at the Capitol.
Who was killed by a MAGA person at the Capitol on January 6th? I missed that.
But wait, you just said that MAGA isn't violent.
I asked you.
Buddy, but they
No, a lot of those. What we're going to find is a lot of those people were Antifa in MAGA gear.
Wow, you keep drinking the Kool-Aid, Brian. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid, and you're the one that's promoting this civil war.
Yeah.
What?
You are, it's an interesting thing because you live in kind of like a upside down world to most people. You're a white guy. You're the minority in your town, right? Oh, really? What do you mean? What do you mean not where you live? What does that, tell me about that.
Well, it's the section of neighborhood that I live in.
Is what?
It's not. I don't live in the urban side of Jacksonville.
You live in a white neighborhood.
It's not white. It's mixed. Minority. No.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Why not? Why Jacksonville's a majority minority community. You have to really try hard and go out of your way to live in a non-majority minority community in Jacksonville. Why'd you do that? Why'd you make that choice?
Why did I make that choice?
Yeah.
Because I like living near the beach. Near the water.
Live by the water, yeah. Black people don't live by the beach. Jacksonville is a majority African American city, and you just happen to be a white liberal who lives in a part of Jacksonville that doesn't have very many black people in it. I find that very interesting.
So quick to label people, dude. I am not a liberal. I don't know.
Oh, I can tell. I know. What are you?
I am an
registered independent. Yeah, independently liberal.
Right.
Yes, I know. You voted for Trump 3 times too, right?
I voted for Trump in 2016.
Yes, yeah, but not. What about 2020 and 24?
No, because
who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote? So you voted for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. You're a Democrat. You're a liberal. It doesn't matter what you're registered as. You vote Democrat. You're a Democrat. And listen, you're not alone. A lot of white liberals don't like living around black people. White liberals tend to be racist and not like black people.
Yeah, I don't live around.
Well, you live in a majority black city, and you happen to live in a white neighborhood.
Happen to be by the beach.
Oh, just happens to be a white neighborhood in Jacksonville.
It's predominantly white, yeah.
Yeah. You know how rare that is in Jacksonville?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. Hey, listen. Appreciate the call. Take care. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, are there any live reads this hour?
Looking to enhance your experience? Discover the new Sloman Shield Link, the ultimate all-in-one ecosystem for integrating your smart devices with the Sloman Shield. Sloman Shield Link takes everyday routines and actions based on your preferences. It connects other devices to react based on your actions. Imagine arriving home at night and your lights, favorite music, and TV turns on as you enter your home. The Shield Link can act on almost any scenario and create scenes based on what you want to occur. Whether you want your thermostats to turn down when you turn your alarm on, or automatically lock your doors and ensure your security lighting is on. These scenarios are a reality with the Sloman Shield Link integration platform. On top of that, the Sloman Shield Link is compatible with devices already in your home.
I'm not surprised.
Plus, they offer 24/7.
Are you anyone surprised that he lives in a white neighborhood in a town that's majority minority? Oh my goodness.
Calling 1-800-ALARM-ME today, or visit Slomans.com to get the Sloman Shield Link. Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I need any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Their techs are highly skilled and professional, and their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of any lab test nails around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalwood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, between Palmetto Park Road and Hillsborough Boulevard on the east side of State Road 7, 441. Any lab test now at Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now or Boca at 564.
Majority minority. That's a liberal term. That's what liberals call them. Majority minority. That's what they call things. Schools, all that kind of thing. It's a liberal term that they use.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen to the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere.
All right, call us on hold, stand by. You know, that majority minority thing, a lot of you may not, that's a liberal term. I learned that years ago. Steve and I were appointed by two different members of the Broward County School Board to the Broward County School Board Diversity Committee. Oh my goodness. I learned all kinds of stuff. Majority, minority. That was one of the things I learned. And you know what I just was thinking? Steve and I were appointed by two different school board members. Both of them are dead. Both school board members have died. Oh boy. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Bob from Denver. What about that school shooting in Oxford, Michigan that was done by Crumbly? Wasn't that all MAGA killing those poor kids?
I don't know which one. Listen, I don't know which one you're talking about. I'm not talking about... Hold on a second. Slow down first. Oh, I know. Okay, you're from Michigan. No, you slow down for a second. The majority of the people in this country are MAGA, okay? So I'm not saying that MAGA people, that MAGA people don't... We're talking about this wave of assassinations and political events that are happening. The ICE Center yesterday, Charlie Kirk, the president. We're talking about political events.
You have to be stupid and a retard to believe that.
Who killed him then?
That was so deep state. We haven't found out.
Well, I agree with that, but the shooter was a patsy, but he was doing the work for other actors.
He was not.
But I'm not talking about like random acts of things that have happened around the country.
Without the gun and
yeah.
Yeah, no, yes. Owens believes there's.
Well, Candace Owens is. You don't believe her; she's not credible. But you want to cite her as a source. You want to rethink that.
There's also multiple sources, Army Rangers that believe this was not real.
Army Rangers? What does that mean? Someone's an Army Ranger?
Snipers, an Army Ranger sniper. The professionals that know how to actually do stuff.
Yeah. What do you know how to do? What's your profession?
Don't worry about my profession. I'm worried about your profession.
This is my profession right now. I mean, what's yours, fluffer?
How many millions have you made?
Oh, I'm sure I make more than you.
Whatever. Don't matter about me.
Yeah, you're embarrassed. If I'm a loser, what does it make you that you listen to me regularly and call me quite often? If I'm a loser, what are you calling losers for? Oh, he hung up. He hung up. Guess things weren't going too bad. I think it was that fluffer thing that set him over the edge. He knew what that meant. A lot of you don't know. You don't need to know what that is. but he knows what it is. I want to talk about the Sloman's Shield link. You know, this is a pretty cool thing, and I like this. I want to tell you about it real quick, and I'll tell you something at the end. The Sloman Shield link, it takes all the things you do in your house, right, and connects all your devices based on the way you want things to be. And what I mean by that is, you know, like you turn your alarm on when you leave the house, automatically turns your thermostat down. You want your lights on in your house to go on at a certain time at night. Maybe you're not home, or you're gone on the weekends, or you're out of town. It sets all that up too. Your TV, your computer, your stereo, your devices around the house. It adjusts all of them, turns them on and off where you want them to be set to, just automatically once you set it up. And here's the cool thing with the Sloman Shield link. They have 24/7 support. First, they set everything up for you. It works on all your existing devices. You don't have to go out and buy new stuff. It works on all your existing devices. And they have 24/7 technical support. So it could be 1 o'clock in the morning and you want to add, you know, a TV in one of your rooms. It's not hooked up. You can call. They'll do it right there for you. So give them a call. The number's toll free, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. We'll take this break on time. Sorry for the short segment. I went long on that last break, and we'll be on time for the rest of the show right after this.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning on the True Oldies channel.
Now, here's the True Oldies forecast.
Today will be sunny and the thunderstorms likely with a high of 85 degrees. It's an evening, a chance of thunderstorms with a low of 79 degrees. On Friday, a high of 87 degrees with a chance of thunderstorms. It's the evening on Friday. Another chance.
We found out, Joy, in this.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On the turnpike, watch for construction at Boynton Beach Boulevard. Okeechobee Boulevard, watch for construction at 441. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's a great time to visit PBKC with poker, table games, and super OTB action. Watch and wager on the biggest races in the sport of kings. The paddock is the perfect place to catch all the OTB and sports action. Over 148 big screens, delicious food, full bar, and friendly service. The paddock also features feast and football every NFL Sunday, and amazing dinner shows and comedy. For more information, go to bbkennelclub.com.
This statewide Kia sales event will be held at one location only, City Kia of Greater Orlando, right off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Kia announces no tariff increase to you, the consumer. Kia should be #1 on your shopping list. The City Kia Battle of Brands is back and bigger than ever. Looking for a new Toyota, Honda, Chevy, Nissan, or Hyundai? Stop! Please don't pay more for less. City Kia takes them all on. We will beat any valid offer in the USA by $500 or pay you $1,000. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. Upside down on your trade? City Kia to the rescue. Get up to $5,000 over KBB fair market value. Rates as low as 0%. Savings up to $15,000. Get all the details at citykia.com. This statewide sales event will be held at one location only, City Kia of Greater Orlando, right off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. It's City Kia's Battle of the Brands. Visit us at citykia.com.
Discover a new era of luxury senior living at the Carlisle Palm Beach, the only senior living community in Palm Beach with ocean views. Under new management by Liberty Senior Living, the Carlisle is being beautifully reimagined with resort-style amenities, refreshed apartment homes, and smart living upgrades. Enjoy vibrant wellness through Inspire by Liberty, elevated dining experiences, and a lifestyle designed for connection and ease. Since 1999, the Carlisle has been a trusted name. Now, with a renewed vision for refined living, call today or visit carlislepalmbeach.com to learn more. That's carlislepalmbeach.com.
The Motorcycle Expo 2025 is coming up. The first real Motorcycle Expo Florida's seen in forever, and it's about time. This is the show riders have been waiting for, because let's face it, Florida's been starving for a proper Motorcycle Expo. No more pop-up swap meets or parking lot vendor rows. This is big, this is bold, this is built for the real ones. From custom builds and top-tier gear, it's 50,000
All right, we'll be on time for the rest of the show. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You know, the left are so desperate to frame these people as anything but Democrats like them. I mean, they're practically calling me up to, well, some MAGA guy ran a stop sign. I mean, I'm hearing low-level, what we're talking about is there's high-level terrorism going on, domestic terrorism in this country. Dallas was a part of that. I want to go through this. This is MSNBC yesterday, and listen to this. These people are out of their minds.
Inspired? Are you worried about copycats?
Yes. I don't know if the rooftop trend is going to be a thing. I mean, it could just be coincidental that the best vantage point just happened to be elevated positions in this case. But, you know, people emulating this kind of attack is certainly a concern. The irony with the writing, the first time we really saw that was Brenton Tarrant in the Christchurch shooting in a mosque in New Zealand. And he was a fierce, white supremacist and neo-Nazi, and wrote all over his weapon and his rounds very hateful information. So to see this coming from, potentially the other side of the political spectrum is a little strange.
Okay, well, hold on. Now, this guy in New Zealand, he was not MAGA. He's in New Zealand. And that was years ago, the Christchurch thing. I can't remember what year it was. But here it is. Now, this is MSNBC. This is their immediate reaction as the shooting has just been reported in Dallas. And their anti-terrorism expert here is saying to see this come from the other side, well, first off, white supremacists and Nazis are not our side. But right away, they're calling us Nazis. This is what's getting, what MSNBC is doing here. This is what we mean when we say that they're inspiring this violence. 2 weeks to the day yesterday, after Charlie Kirk's assassinated, they're still calling us Nazis. You know, and that's what I tell you. You got to understand, these monsters, they think they're taking out Nazis. And who's against taking out Nazis? So, you know, they say, well, both sides need to tone down the rhetoric. When are they going to start toning down the rhetoric? Let me rewind it. But this is the MSNBC's expert, right as the shooting is breaking, and they're comparing this guy, and he's calling MAGA white supremacist Nazis.
Inspired? Are you worried about copycats?
Yes. I don't know if the rooftop trend is going to be a thing. I mean, it could just be coincidental that the best vantage point just happened to be elevated positions in this case. But, you know, people emulating this kind of attack is certainly a concern. Okay, now this guy, he's a former senior official at the FBI. See, this is what used to run the FBI, liberal morons. The irony with the writing, the first time we really saw that was Brenton Tarrant in the Christchurch shooting in a mosque in New Zealand. And he was a fierce, white supremacist and neo-Nazi, and wrote all over his weapon and his rounds very hateful information. So to see this coming from, potentially the other side of the political spectrum. Hear that? He just called MAGA Nazis there. Just called MAGA Nazis. MSNBC. And former FBI official. Senior FBI official, they say. They didn't tell us exactly when. But that was the mindset at the FBI before Trump's reelection. It's probably why Cash and Bongino are having a hard time, right? They have people there that think that their bosses are Nazis. Is a little strange because it is not something, if you are trying to, carry out some kind of message countering, more extreme right-wing stuff. I don't know why you would, use a tactic that a famous white supremacist who has been revered and copycatted over the years by other white supremacists why you would do that. But it does appear that people are moving in that direction because they want people to know what they're doing and why they're doing it. Again, terrorism is theater. They want people to understand their message and why they're doing this and why, in some cases it's a narrow act of violence and it's not supposed to be a mass murder, although it looks like it's moving a little more in that direction.
Yeah, and he was a bad shot. I mean, he killed someone and shot people from the group that he was trying to rescue. Oh, my goodness. All right, our number 1-888-465-2601. See, they won't stop the rhetoric. Their rhetoric is instigating deadly violence, and they're still calling their political opponents Nazis. I watched the press conference in Dallas, and Ted Cruz got there pretty quick, and he was there, and he was calling on officials, the media, elected officials in Congress, stop calling your political opponents Nazis. You're getting people shot. That's what Ted Cruz said yesterday, in a very tight suit. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian.
Hey, Richie.
You got to look at it. It's not just these guys shooting at politicians and shooting at. It's the left. I'm going to call it the way it is. The Democratic Party. Okay, their little army happens to be Antifa. Believe it or not. I mean, most of these they're not. They're definitely not MAGA people. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, which is 2 weeks ago, I believe, a little more than 2 weeks ago now. Have you seen one riot in any city, in any street? Have you seen any violence on what they call white supremacists? Have you seen any violence?
No. Well, we saw a Democrat liberal kid shoot up the ICE facility and kill someone in Dallas yesterday.
Yeah, and you also saw how the United States was terrorized for how many years when George Floyd was taken down with his fentanyl overdose that blamed the police. So they tore up cities all over the country. People couldn't even eat in McDonald's because they were afraid that they were going to be intimidated. So you're looking at every time something goes wrong, they mobilize, they burn cities down, they attack. And then the Democrats say, but this is the white supremacists are the problem, not these people. This is justified stealing. This is justified killing. Everything that they talk about is justified. And you're right, they do steam people up. And I have to correct you on one thing though, because believe it or not, Jacksonville is predominantly a black city, but the actual city limits are so massive that there's so many white areas in Jacksonville. Black neighborhoods.
You're not correcting me. No, what I'm pointing out is we've got this liberal guy who has gone out of his way not to live around black people, right? He doesn't want to live around black people.
No, so you also got the ones up in. You remember how they chased up in where Obama's got his little house up there?
Yeah.
Those homeless people, those immigrants, out immediately.
That's right.
Tolerance. They're hypocrites. The whole darn thing. They're hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the massive demonstrations of violence in this country, there is something wrong with them. And you can call us white supremacists. You could call us. We're not in the streets tearing up places. We're not in the inner cities tearing up. They're in the shooting.
Yeah. Well, and this clip I just played, here you have MSNBC still calling MAGA Nazis after all this. Before we even had all the information on what happened yesterday, they don't even, I don't think they realize what they're saying. It's just their reality for some of these people.
No, because that's their voters. They want to stay. This guy that said that had to go to a foreign country and talk about an assassination that took.
Yeah, years ago in New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, they can't even. There's nothing recent here. Absolutely nothing recent. Oh, do you remember 5 years ago in a school there was one guy and he was a right winger. This is what they pull out of their hat every day. We're seeing.
They're practically saying, well, there was some guy who was MAGA. He shoplifted at the store. Oh, okay, that's the same as assassinating people. Yeah, okay.
The last thing I'm going to say, you're right with Megyn Kelly. She's too old. They got to find somebody that's college age that can debate. He might not be a big name right now because they're most of those guys started when they were young, and then Charlie Kirk was like 31. They got to find somebody in their early 20s that.
Well, who's good? She got whooped by those kids. She didn't have good answers to them. But I don't think she's You know, I like Megyn Kelly, but a lot of Megyn Kelly is getting by on her looks, and these kids are she's a grandmother to them. They're not turned on by her. Her looks aren't going to help with those guys.
You need somebody that can relate to high school people, at least in the beginning.
Yes.
Charlie Kirk wasn't the greatest debater in the very beginning. You get better, but you got to get somebody out there that's young. I would go to podcasts and I would look and try to find talent on some part.
Well, this is the point I'm making, and this is an important point. That was the first turning point event where they did the "convince me I'm wrong" thing since Charlie Kirk's assassination. The number one reason they assassinated him was because he was red pilling the college kids. The deep state people behind the assassination, they're high-fiving. That mission accomplished, because she's not going to red pill anybody. And if some of these others, I give an example. I don't know who could do it. You know, if Candace Owens hadn't gone nuts, she would be doing it. But I don't know who out there is a trusted conservative that could go. This is the thing with Charlie Kirk is. Very few people have this. He had all the skills, but he also had that movie star charisma kind of thing going on. And when you're talking to 18, 19-year-old kids, 54, 55-year-old women, no matter how much they get dressed up, they don't have movie star charisma. You might as well put Morgan Fairchild up there. You see, I saw her on an interview the other day. Holy smokes! Don't look it up, Richie. Don't look it up. It'll mess up all the movies.
She's too old, and her answers were bad.
Oh yeah, she lost the debate.
Absolutely.
Michael Knowles might be a good fit. He's kind of geeky, but Michael Knowles would be better than her. He would do well.
The guy that I watch, he's not famous. He's very good, and he happens to be. He's a mulatto. He's half. I believe he's light skinned.
Yeah, mulatto.
Well, he's excellent, man. I mean, he's a conservative. He's articulate. He's fast. He's sharp. Yeah,
I mean, Megyn Kelly and I are about to say I wouldn't do it because I'm too old. I'm too old. You can't go in your 50s. And and by the way, I've got better debating skills than her, and have these mediocre debating skills. In fact, she got her clock cleaned by Trump in that debate, and she's too stupid to know it. You've called women pigs. Only Rosie O'Donnell, right? And everybody laughed at Megyn for that. She didn't win that debate with Trump. She was humiliated. She's not good at this.
It's a very rare bird. Trump is an 80. He's an 80-year-old man that still the young people look up to him, and they don't.
I would say that out of the current crop of people that are no, Michael Knowles is the only one that has the skill set. Benny Johnson does not. He looks like he drinks a 6-pack of some energy drink before he goes out on stage. He doesn't have the. Yeah, it's your boy Benny. Yeah, whoa, yeah. Michael Knowles could. Ben Shapiro's a geek. I mean, there's no people. Yeah, they always say there's never going to be another this or another that. This is bad. This thing with Megyn Kelly is bad because Turning Point USA has turned the entire youth in this country into MAGA conservatives, and with old ladies and old men and mediocre debaters like that, all of Charlie Kirk's work is going to evaporate. If they don't, it's going to be gone. And yeah.
Star list like they have. They've got to find one particular person and put him out there and give him a job interview. Put him out there and see how he does. But he's got to be young, and he's got to be articulate, and he's got to be sharp.
Yeah. And it can't be Nick Fuentes. It cannot be Nick Fuentes. Okay, we don't. I don't know why. I don't know why Patrick Bet David's sitting down with this guy. All right. Appreciate the call, Richie. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about coastal weight loss secret. I had a big medical appointment yesterday, which I'm not going to tell you about right now. But it was my first appointment since I lost all this weight. And let me tell you, the shirt I'm wearing now, this is a very old shirt. I don't buy clothes until they kind of like have holes in them and stuff. I just don't, But this is a shirt that a few months ago was tight on my stomach. And now it fits like it's supposed to fit, because I've lost all this weight. The thing about Coastal Weight Loss Secret is, number one, I did not know that I really needed to lose weight until I started losing weight. And when I started to see what I look like, when I first started losing weight, I could tell, wow, I really did need to lose weight. But my stomach, I was starting to get a belly. And I thought that was just a part of growing old because all the guys I know got bellies. My stomach is flat now. I've lost my belly. I've lost several inches off my waist. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it feels great and I look great. I did this with no pills, no injections, no surgery, zero exercise. I never felt hungry or starved myself, and I ate foods I would normally eat. And now I'm in the maintain phase. I have not gained an ounce in the maintain phase because I didn't have big lifestyle changes. Give them a call. Take advantage of the no-charge consultation with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days, and my results are typical with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And remember, no matter where you're located, they can help you. We have listeners from all over Florida and the United States that have literally, not figuratively, lost a ton of weight. The number is 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
Hard Truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
This is Steve Kane. Medicare can be confusing. That's why each year at this time we call Debbie.
Hey, we're going to record a commercial with Joe after the show.
Yeah, I saw the email.
Oh, okay.
I was going to ask you, Eric's not on today anyway, so we're good. We'll have perfect on all.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, whenever you want to do it. So.
Do you want to see a commercial for next hour? Because I have to.
Yeah, I'll look real quick. Yeah.
Because I have to split them up a lot, and I mean, I know sometimes we don't take a break. Like we can just jump in.
Yeah.
If we could avoid that, that'd be good too.
I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractor.
Yeah.
So I mean, we come out at 225 or so, ish, right? 227.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then
What's there?
Next one is 2 minute, another 2 minute thing. But I could call Siegel and then 2 minutes out. We'll go right
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
And this is the bottom, and this is. I mean,
There's nothing we can change.
Nothing, right?
No.
And then what the younger men would be reduced. But
No.
that's like 2 minutes as well.
Yeah, no, there's nothing we can change.
The good thing, I'm happy to say it's all 2 minutes, 1 or 2 minutes.
So we can record in here with Joe after is what you're saying? Oh, cool.
Like right away.
No-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not
Perfect.
necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
This fall, Margaritaville at Sea is calling your name. Bring the crew and save 80% on the second. Free stateroom selection was just extended so you can cruise your way. Discover paradise, your floating island escape. Sailing from the port of Palm Beach to the Bahamas, Key West, and beyond on shorter getaways back to laid-back fun. Escape, explore, indulge, and unwind. Don't wait, paradise is just a click away. Book now at margaritavilleatsea.com.
systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at reporterroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
Alrighty. We are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Sherry. How are you?
All right. What's on your mind?
Hey, so I can't help but think that this is a cycle of copycatting, because each shooting that has occurred has had, either people's names on the bullets, etc. Where the shooting took place, I've lived next to 20 minutes from that for 25 years. It's off of, I believe it was, it's downtown. It's where a huge church is, mega church.
So you're talking about Dallas? Oh, that's where you live?
We recently moved out of that area.
Oh.
I lived right there.
Oh, okay.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so you've got that is one of the main thoroughfares going through Dallas. I'm talking constant thousands of cars going through there. So anyway, so my whole point of my call is a few years back, I'm not sure if you recall this, but there's an area down there that is so dangerous that police are very hesitant from going in there. Well, there was a time where there was a call placed to the Dallas Police Department, and they said, hey, look, this is what's happening. Can't remember if there was a shooting going on or what. It was a setup. When those Dallas police went in there, they ambushed them. And that wasn't too far from where this incident took place.
Well, my guess would be that... Oh, go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
You're fine, Brian.
Okay, what my guess would be is a few years back, swatting was a big fad. And I got swatted pretty bad once. I've talked about it. And so I followed all the swatting. And most of the swatting came from Twitch streamers and stuff. And it was kind of like a thing in the Twitch streams, most of it. But this here is a similar thing. I don't think it's just random copycatting. I think there's something going on in a Reddit group, Discord group. I'm curious if this guy was in some Discords, groups, Reddit, Twitch maybe even. But there's more connections than we realized. So far as where they go online for information and stuff, there's got to be some crossover.
So if they have the ability to go in and confiscate their computers, their phones, whatever, I would think they would be able to get in deep enough to where they would find something.
Yeah.
Some kind of a network or something that they would be connected to, right?
Well, I don't trust I'll tell you this. Kash Patel's running the FBI, but I don't trust the people that work at the FBI. That guy that I was playing before that was calling MAGA Nazis yesterday during this event, he was a senior FBI official. So, when they did the raid on John Bolton's house and they showed the computer experts leave John Bolton's house, they got into some minivans with his computers. They had their skinny pants on and everything else. Those guys were like these jokers that call me. A bunch of incels, with preferred pronouns and everything else. And I just don't trust them to find the truth from these computers because they're sympathetic. They're sympathetic to these people.
You hear these shootings going on, and there's a pattern. So I'm following you, okay? It's on top of a building. There's riding on bullets.
Yes.
There's a patterning.
Correct.
Okay, and there's and it's not going off trail. Okay, So they're following each other. So I agree. It's in deep with some kind of a network.
Yes. Yeah.
This is being supported, and I'm just kind of curious. I mean, where's George Soros? Like,
I don't know. You know, yesterday they had a big Antifa arrest in front of a facility. It was the first Antifa arrest, which means that they mean business. I forgot what city it was in. I have it on my X. I'll pull it up in a bit. I'll look during the break. But you know, and George Soros has been mentioned a couple times by the president in the last week.
Oh, I don't need to say anymore. People, if they're following and they've got an open mind, me asking where George Soros is, I don't have to say anymore.
Mm-hmm. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, man. This is C from Augusta, Georgia.
All right. What's on your mind?
Hey, man. I appreciate you. Love the show. Man, this is so retarded where they keep trying to say that MAGA people are doing this. MAGA people are hardworking people that love their family. They ain't got time to go around shooting at people and doing all this crazy stuff. We're not trying to go to jail or ruin our lives. We want to live in America free and happy. The only most of us are gun owners, and guess what? A responsible gun owner, they do not want to have to shoot in.
Well, MAGA people can't get arrested. They got to get up and go to work tomorrow. These guys have nothing, right?
And it's so silly to believe that. Oh, they're going around just shooting their own people.
Yeah.
And these Democrats believe this stupid.
Well, this guy, I'm almost out of time, but for the hour. This guy in Dallas was a bad shot. He shot the people he was trying to save, the illegals. So now they're saying, well, look, he shot migrants. He must be MAGA. Come on.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. You take care. We'll take our break for the top. We'll come back. There's much more to talk about. We got a lot to cover. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll free, 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll take our break and be back right after this.
Today will be sunny and the thunderstorms likely with a high of 85 degrees. Into the evening, a chance of thunderstorms with a low of 79 degrees. On Friday, a high of 87 degrees with a chance of thunderstorms. Into the evening on Friday, another chance of thunderstorms with a low of 79 degrees.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. On the turnpike northbound to Southern.
I set up a camera for Joe when he gets here. I'll have to.
Sapodilla Avenue, a collision. 6th Avenue south, a crash at South East Street. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Fall into big wins this September in the poker room at PBKC. Get high hands every 15 minutes, every day, plus score big with a $15,000 cash giveaway and $100,000 progressive weekends. Don't miss the $10 poker party coming up Friday, September 26th. The perfect time for beginners to experience tournament play. Bet small and win big on table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum all day, every day. Visit pbkennelclub.com.
Son of Tom Laporta and a proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on the limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with
All right, the third hour has begun. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number, 888-465-2608. You know, today's the first day of like the legal open carry in Florida. And I might buy a holster after the show today, or maybe a couple. There's a gun store like every 10 feet from the radio station. You ever notice that? They got more gun shops. I wonder if there's a holster shortage. I don't know. I would like to have. I want a flashy holster though. I want one like a gunslinger from the old west that I could just put on, that fits a Glock or something. All right, we got a lot to cover here, but you know, there's a lot of common themes with what's happening here because we're in this epidemic of violence. You know, this thing about, they always go back to January 6th, okay? Even if January 6th was what they say it was, and it wasn't, okay? I'm not saying it was, but even if it was, which it wasn't, but if it was, they got one incident. We're having them like every 2 weeks now. And, you know, there is an, this is a liberal term. There's an epidemic of violence in this country committed by liberals. And the people in the Democrat Party and in the media don't want to identify it as that. It was like there's been periods when there's been incidents that there's been a lot of, right? The church fire, remember that? The church arsons and stuff like this that the media have no problem identifying. But this, they don't want to identify what the problem is. They want to talk about the Second Amendment and all these things that are never going to happen. And let me give you an example here. This is Jamel Hill from left-wing Atlantic magazine, which I'm sure is just now an online website.
There has been no...
Oh, hold on, I hit the wrong button. Let me cue it up. It is here. Okay, here we go.
There has been no reporting at all to suggest that this man was in any way left-wing.
She's talking about the Charlie Kirk assassin, by the way.
There has been no reporting at all to suggest that this man was in any way left-wing.
He's a gay man with a transgendered boyfriend. That's pretty left-wing.
There has been no reporting at all to suggest that this man was in any way left-wing. Of course, we have heard family members supposedly have told the media that he became a little bit more politically active in the last couple of years, or in recent years, I should say. And that was all we knew. He's never voted. He wasn't a part of any radical, I don't know what these organizations would be, but nothing that suggested he was a part of any radical left-wing organizations. Goodness. Now, obviously, in the initial days of the reporting, it came out that his parents are quite conservative.
See, now this is my favorite. I've gotten several calls in the last week about this. So now they want to identify people's political leanings based on that of their parents, which is a whole new thing I've never heard of. Donald Trump's parents were Democrats. Does that mean that he's a Democrat? Since when do they judge someone's political leanings on their parents? This is a new one.
And being that he's in Utah, there was a lot of discussion about what his political leanings could be. And I think what we've probably discovered since all of this has come out is that I don't know that he fits in any clear-cut political model, left or right. And I know people are looking at his alleged relationship with his roommate, who is a trans person who's transitioning, and people are just assuming that because of that romantic relationship, that means that he's left-wing.
Yes.
As if they're not members of the queer community who are not right-wing.
Okay, but they don't go out and kill the top people in the conservative movement, okay? I mean, this is where their mind is. And there's a lot of denial going on with the Democrats with this. I mean, there's just complete denial. Democrats have a history of defending their own when they commit crimes and justifying it. My favorite one that Steve and I ran across was on the Caribbean radio station that is no more. Jean Jabouin and Miss Ivy. Oh my goodness. Does anyone remember Jean Jabouin and Miss Ivy? They were hardcore liberals. Every day, all they talked about was, all they wanted was reparations. And Steve and I used to go on their show all the time. I've talked about this before. There was a school shooting. Like a first grader brought a gun to school and killed a little girl in his classroom. Couldn't believe it. And Steve and I, we were going to be on the show that day. And by the way, the shooter and the victim had not been identified in the mainstream media at all because they were so young. And this was a thing in the morning. And Steve and I, we got off the air at 9, and we were both in our cars heading to the radio station where they were at. Their radio station was in Davie. The station I don't think exists anymore. And John Jabin and Miss Ivy have been off the air for a long time. But they were talking about this incident. What was known was the victim was a young black girl. And they were all over this. I don't care if he's in first grade. He needs to go to prison. He needs to do life. And then a caller called in who was one of our listeners who knew what Steve and I were going to do. It was not just one of our listeners. It was someone from the radio station. Remember I was telling you the other day how people at radio stations, they sabotage? Remember I was telling you this? Mike's the only board out. We had this happen. One of the saboteurs at the radio station, because Steve and I knew that the shooter was black, but they didn't know it. And it wasn't really known, but somebody at the radio station knew. So they called, when Steve and I are in our cars driving to the radio station to clean their clocks about this, someone from the radio station, a saboteur, called them and said that the shooter was black so they could steal our thunder. Whatever. I tell you, people suck. I mean, they just do things. They're always trying to sabotage. Half of this job over the years has been dealing with these saboteurs like this. But it didn't matter. As soon as John Jabin and Miss Ivy found out the shooter was black, they were defending him like no one's business. I never heard anything. It was crazy. And there's a lot of that going on with these shooters. Democrats are always into defending their own, but there's a lot of denial going on with them. Some of them are just outright lying to themselves, but there's a lot of denial going on. The left don't want to accept the fact that they're part of a violent movement that has deadly domestic terrorism going on. They just can't accept that that's what's happening. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hi there. I wouldn't bother to listen to anything the Atlantic has to say in the first place. I mean, who cares what they even say? But I didn't hear all of Richie's commentary about Megyn Kelly last night, but I thought she did an awesome job. I mean, I don't think she's really...
She got her clock cleaned. She got her clock... I played two clips earlier is what he was commenting on. She got her clock cleaned by children.
Okay, but for the... I didn't recognize that, but for the most part, I think she did an awesome job. She's beautiful, she's smart, and the kids loved her. And... I mean, she was supposed to go on tour with Charlie for that venue.
She was part of the Turning Point speaker circuit. At the Turning Point I went to, she was there. And by the way, she is in person. She's Karen Carpenter skinny. Anytime you see her on TV or online, it adds weight to her. She's too thin. I'm going to play a clip in a minute after the break, or maybe after the call with you. I'll play one of the clips. See, here's the thing, okay? They killed. This is so important. I like Megyn Kelly. I listen to her show every week. I don't listen to every day, but I listen to her show a couple times a week, and I do like her, okay? But the reason they killed Charlie Kirk, the main reason, is because he had red-pilled America's college kids, okay? And Megyn Kelly is blue-pilling people with this. It's not that she's not good at what she does, but she's not good at the debate with these kids. So far as being good-looking, if you're a guy my age, you might, oh yeah, she's not if you're 18, 19, or 20. She's grandma, okay? She's too old, and she doesn't have the skill set. And if they send her out there to do this, they're going to have more and more. We're not going to be red-pilling the youth anymore. Charlie Kirk's work is going to be destroyed by people like Megyn Kelly.
Put her out there all the time, but definitely the governor was, he was okay, but definitely the kids were not, enthralled with him, I don't think. But the other thing is, have you heard, and Elon Musk reported on it yesterday, and I heard it the day before, about a different shooter for Charlie Kirk the second.
Elon Musk, I mean, he said that Trump was on the Epstein list, Elon Musk. I mean, it pisses me off. And the president, even though they got together at the funeral, he shooed him away. President Trump didn't keep him up there with him. He shooed him away at the end, if you watch it. I mean, it's upsetting. I was driving to the radio station this morning. I was live streaming on YouTube. And you guys watching me saw this. And one of his rockets took off right in front of me. I'm driving on 995 this morning. I mean, it pains me. I know it's cool, SpaceX, boom. It pains me what happened with him. But I don't buy a second shooter that took a shot. I mean, I'm not saying that there may not have been other accomplices, but we watched it. There was one bullet. And you see it ricochet off his chest to the neck.
Okay, I'm just saying the guy that originally reported on it, they were doing military. It was a military guy that was, used to that stuff, and so they were really doing a lot of analysis, and that's where Elon Musk was citing that guy. How true it is, I don't know. At first, I just blew it off, but then after I heard Elon Musk even recognize it, I started thinking.
I was talking about that yesterday, but the thing about the second gunman, okay? Here's the thing. In the new age of influencer media, the Charlie Kirk conspiracy is a great way to get views, clicks, and retweets and all this stuff. And there's a lot of people that are buying into that. I'm not saying that he didn't have an accomplice. I believe there was a larger deep state conspiracy around this, and that this guy unknowingly was a patsy for people. I do believe that. So I'm not saying that there weren't other people there. These guys that ran the distraction so the shooter could get away, I don't think that was a coincidence. So I agree there was a larger plot, but some of this crap I'm hearing from Candace Owens, guys coming out of tunnels and trap doors, no.
Bullet, the way it entered, they say it came from the back. So
no way. Well, no way. No way. No way. No way. We saw it. The thing with Kennedy is the Zapruder film, I don't even think was really widely known about until like maybe the Warren Commission era. The Zapruder film. And even when you see it, you can hardly see it. There's 2,000 videos of this, literally, because everybody had their phones. And if there was a second shooter, we would see it in 4K by now.
I realize there's only one bullet. I realize there was only one bullet, but, I gave it a second thought yesterday, but, when the first guy said, the FBI is lying about I'm not listening anymore about it. And then Elon.
Well, I would have liked to have seen Dan Bongino on the scene taking charge of some of these high-profile scenes, like in Utah. He should do that. He was at the memorial. I saw him at the memorial. He should do that. All right, Joel, and I got to run, but thanks for the call. Oh, let's check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I am well. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, we had a client come in yesterday, a gentleman in his 90s, super impressive, sharp as a tack, and his problem was that he was living in independent living with his wife, who did not have her mental capacity. She had all kinds of issues, physical and of course dementia, Alzheimer's, and she needed care that he couldn't provide, and also she needed to be somewhere where she got that care that he was not ready to be living in a dementia unit that she needs, and so he was concerned about the cost of having his residence and then her place as well, where she would have to be. And so when he came in, it turned out we were able to get her qualified for Medicaid to cover the cost, or at least a significant portion of the cost of where she would be, and then he would be able to continue to live in the independent living, and of course,
wow,
there and spend time and visit with her. But we were able to solve their problems just by educating him on Medicaid, and he was shocked and surprised pleasantly that they were able to get it. This was a retired professional. He had assets, certainly over the limit. But that's why people come to attorneys like us. We help people who have too much money, too much income, too much in assets, still qualify so they don't have to spend down their assets and go broke. That was his big concern, and we were able to alleviate that by helping him. His wife qualified for Medicaid.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And, I'm fine. I guess because as people are living longer, it becomes more and more common for married couples later in life like this to end up in facilities together. And this situation you're talking about probably is kind of common, but they don't know about you necessarily and what you can do. That's an amazing story. Give the Siegel Law Group a call. Remember, it's a no-charge in-office consultation if you mention her Attorney Barry Siegel on the program. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. That's 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel will finish out the week tomorrow. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE1.
Hey, Mike, could you pull that call in with Barry and send it to me? I'm going to edit that into a spot.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too. I got to edit it way down, but.
Participating in our one-time online survey. Eligible participants who complete the study will receive a $50 gift card. Call today and learn more at 904-620-HLAB. That's 904-620-4522. Join us in deepening our understanding of the caregiver experience.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
1, 2.
This is Steve Kane. Medicare can be confusing. That's why each year at this time, we call Debbie at Iowa Advisors to guide us through every plan, every choice, and every cost. Open enrollment is coming up really soon. Some plans are being canceled. Others pulling out of the Medicare market at the end of 2025. Call Debbie. She represents all the major national companies.
So this is my Trapper Keeper my wife got me. I keep all my commercial copy in my Trapper Keeper. She just got me this recently. Oh, I had my mic on.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen to the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. I had my mic on during the break. Luckily, I didn't say anything too embarrassing. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sorry, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm calling from Philadelphia. You know, you were mentioning Black Lives Matter, and you were mentioning the January 6th. Just a brief comment on the January 6th. It really makes me laugh when I hear these liberal morons say that they were trying to overthrow democracy, overthrow the government. Yeah, right. So they were going to take on the military, the Capitol Police, and the regular police force with just sticks and mace. Yeah, they would be very successful. That would be the most ridiculous attempt to overthrow a government in years.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as Black Lives Matter goes, it really, really amazes me how people continuously support this group, because it just shows what happens when a person has more loyalty to a party than they do to what's right and wrong. Here we have a woman, Patrice Cullors. She raised over $90 million from corporate donations and private donations from the public. $90 million. What did she do with that money? Let's see. She didn't help rebuild playgrounds in black neighborhoods, build affordable housing for black people that she was supposed to love so much. She didn't help the black employees who lost their jobs because people from her organization burnt down businesses, over 540 arsons of black-owned businesses and black neighborhoods. She didn't help support these employees that lost their livelihood because of these riots, over 540 riots. No, she didn't. No. What did she do with the $90 million? She went on a real estate buying spree.
Yeah.
Well, one mansion, $6 million, with multiple amounts of bedrooms, swimming pools, a theater, a small theater that's in one of the houses.
Well, of course. Well, what are you going to do when Spike Lee comes over with his new movie? You got to have a theater. She bought multiple mansions, and as far as I know, they didn't take them from her. But you talk about January 6th. President Trump has designated Antifa a terrorist organization. They had their first Antifa arrest last night. On January 6th, I promise you, that guy that broke the windows at the door at the Capitol was Antifa. MAGA people don't do that. Guy was, if they could identify that guy, oh man, that'd be peeling back the onion right there.
And I'll hang up after this. During these 540 riots, 500 churches were vandalized, some were burned. Police stations were set on fire with the police still in there, which is attempted murder. To me, not one person, not one out of the 540 riots has ever been charged.
That's right.
Murder.
That's right. All right, appreciate the call. Yeah, made some good points. I agree with everything you said. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Greg.
Hey, Greg.
I don't want to get into January 6th because we'll never agree upon that. And by the way, just quickly, why don't they point that guy out? It should take maybe an hour to do a little due diligence on him.
Yeah. Okay.
That he.
Of course. Okay. All right. Mm.
Turning Point has got to put the brakes on and slow down. Who is running Turning Point right now?
Well, I don't think it's Erica Kirk. I don't think she's really going. I think she's going to end up being a figurehead because if you go back, J.D. Vance last Monday hosted the Charlie Kirk show, the first day, the Monday after the assassination, and he had Susie Wiles in the last half hour, and you could tell they have plans for Turning Point. And then President Trump in the Oval Office made some comments. They're going to take it over with her as the figurehead. Maybe that's what's going to happen, but they need to stop this campus tours about the. What I'm doing here is not attacking Megyn Kelly. They need to stop this college tour. It's going to be a disaster.
You are attacking Megyn Kelly, and maybe rightfully so.
Wait, she's got it. I like her. I watch her show every week. I watch her several times a week. I like her, but this was an embarrassment. And if they keep doing this, they're going to destroy. They're going to destroy the movement.
But I agree with you. But a podcast is a lot easier than go. These college students come up with one idea that they are very well versed in. Do you know how hard it is? You have, let's say, 10 people come.
Don't you listen to the show? I take screenless calls. I get these people calling me. Listen to my podcast yesterday afternoon.
You can knock people off. You could say.
No, that's not the technique. I'm not going to give you my debate secrets that I learned from Steve Kane. But no.
To your subject matter.
No. Are you kidding me? Of course they do. You listen to this show. Come on, don't insult me that way. But no, not always. And I keep people on. But here's the thing. and I'm going back to this. They assassinated Charlie Kirk because he was red pilling America's youth. And if the conspirators behind that assassination saw Megyn Kelly last night, they said to themselves, mission accomplished. And I've seen the list of people, and there are people I like on that list, but they don't have the skills, and they're going to destroy it.
There's only one person, in my opinion, that has the skill set and the age appropriateness, and I know you don't like him, so you're not going to endorse him, but it's Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is brilliant.
He's a dork. He's a geek. No. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I think he is knowledgeable, yes, but he's not likable. He's not likable. No, I think he's, no. No, I think he's one of the, I think he, believe it or not, as crazy as this sounds, he's in large part responsible for all the anti-Israeli sentiment in this country because he's so unlikable.
So let me ask you a question. Who would you want? First of all, they've got to stop these on-campus things till they get someone in place. But who would you?
And I'm not suggesting myself. I'm too offhand. There's two people. I didn't say me. I said I'm not promoting myself to do this. I'm too old. There's two people, as of now, and I'm sure there's others. And there's two people. One of them I'm not a big fan of, but they could do it. Michael Knowles is one, and number two, Laura Loomer. Okay, she could handle it. And there's a third one, Savannah Hernandez. She's not that famous. Savannah Hernandez.
He's a friend of yours. So let me ask you a question. Who is the next person up?
I just said Savannah Hernandez. If you're not familiar with her, look up Savsas.
Who's the next person that's going to do the next campus?
None of these. I don't have the list. I don't have the list in front of me. I looked at it the other day, and then I watched this. And Savannah Hernandez. Let me tell you, I've met her. She's very good. If you don't know who she is, look her up. She already works for Turning Point, and she has for a couple of years. She's very ballsy. She's good looking. She's better looking in person than she looks online and on television. I'm here to tell you, I'm in her, and she's age appropriate. She would have these young guys clocks cleaned like that. Savannah Hernandez.
She doesn't have name. Like
she does. No. Well, because you're older. She's very well known with the Turning Point age crowd. Yeah, she's been doing Turning Point stuff for years. Savannah Hernandez. Yeah. See, right now it's yeah.
Let me just.
Why do I bash?
Necessity. No, bash other conservatives. Like you had an agenda today that you wanted to take Megyn Kelly.
What do you think? I have an agenda. What do you think my agenda is?
That there's certain people you don't really like, and you will bring them down. Why do you feel the necessity to?
I'll tell you why. I wasn't even going to talk about the Megyn Kelly thing. I saw it when I was doing my show prep this morning, and I was waiting for my coffee at Starbucks. And I'm going through X while I'm waiting for my coffee. And these two clips I played are just going viral on X by conservatives praising Megyn Kelly. She got her butt whooped by children. And Charlie Kirk was assassinated for turning young people into conservatives. And I'm watching this woman destroy his work. It's the first Convince Me I'm Wrong event. And she's too full of herself to know that she got whooped by children. See, Megyn Kelly, here's the thing with Megyn Kelly. I like Megyn Kelly, don't get me wrong. However, she's not good in debate. She got her butt whooped by Trump at the debate. You've called women pigs. Only Rosie O'Donnell. And that was it. It took her years to recover from that. And what Megyn Kelly gets by on is she's hot. I mean, I mentioned her, and I already saw some. Oh, no, hold on. I saw some guys in my chat room. Some guys in my chat room said, oh, I wouldn't kick her out of bed. Yeah, but you're not a 19-year-old kid. You're not turned on by grandma, right? Right? I mean, so.
so sexist. Oh, she's hot, but not towards 19-year-olds. But by the way,
when she was on Fox News, okay? When Megyn Kelly was on Fox News, she had the most unusual desk I've ever seen an anchor have. I used to talk about this. She had a transparent plexiglass desk, and she wore short dresses and miniskirts, and she was teasing the audience with a Sharon Stone Basic Instinct thing every time she was on the air. That's why her ratings were so high, because guys were watching, trying to get the Sharon Stone view. I mean, her looks are part of why she's successful. It's not an attack. If she looked like Rosie O'Donnell, she wouldn't be where she is. And her hotness doesn't work on people who she's older than their parents, almost as old as their grandmothers, maybe the same age in some instances.
You know what? You're putting viewers so down. It's ridiculous that. You know what? Does your wife watch Megyn Kelly?
Yeah, we watch her together. So when you were like, I'll tell you, men did. Why? Well, explain, Greg. Come on. Explain to me why Megyn Kelly had a transparent plexiglass desk and wore short skirts and dresses when she was on Fox News with the camera angle out. Why did she do that?
Substance. She's an attorney, sharp, knowledgeable, and you're putting there, oh, men are just trying to get legs, like look at her legs. Are you kidding me, Brian?
No, they weren't looking at her legs. Don't you remember Basic Instinct?
You know how old that movie is? That's like 30 plus.
All right. Hey, Mike, add some extra commercials. Add some extra commercials, because we need to have a buffer between Joe Thomas and this Basic Instinct talk, okay? Because I don't want to. Come on. I like Megyn Kelly, but she got her butt whipped by 19-year-old kids. If I got whooped by these jokers that called me,
Kelly, after you say I love.
You think she's hot?
She's very attractive.
There you go. Okay. All right. Take care. All right. So I was right. All right. We'll take our break and be back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after.
Hey. Oh, how's it going? I brought you a camera. How you doing? I mean, make sure we get you lined up here,
Cool.
so people can see you on YouTube.
Which one you want? This one? Cool. All right.
Okay.
That was fun.
It's true. She had this transparent plexiglass desk.
But I guess
I used to talk about it at the time. It's okay, but I mean,
I'm sure it helped the ratings for sure.
that's exactly. She knew what she was doing.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So she's on the circuit now talking?
Well, she did the first Turning Point Q&A with the kids yesterday. That's what I was talking about. She didn't do that well.
Yeah. Little crazy stuff, huh?
So,
testing.
We were gonna-
1 2 1 2.
Okay, hold on.
We good? Keep talking.
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right. So they can see it now, but I'm going to use this on my podcast,
Oh,
so
gotcha.
they can see it.
Oh, okay, cool.
But afterwards, we're going to record a commercial or two.
Okay.
Did I tell you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. Whatever time you want me to stay for, it's all good.
Well, I had a couple ideas, but I'll tell you when I don't have the cameras on.
Okay, great. Sounds good. How you been? Everything
Good.
Good. A lot of craziness going on. So
Oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah, Mike Balsamo called me, and I was like, I didn't even know what had happened that day until later on.
Yeah.
Crazy. How's the weight going? You look like you're still losing weight.
Good. Oh my gosh. I haven't
should
weighed
try it.
myself in a while. I lost 35 pounds. 37 pounds actually. 37. And I haven't weighed myself since then, but I haven't gained any because I can tell by the belt
Yeah, I need to lose 20.
It was like so easy.
Really? So it's worth going, huh?
I mean,
Is
I
it
mean,
easy to do? Yeah.
I eat like, I like Chipotle, so I eat Chipotle. I had
Chipotle.
McDonald's yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I you know,
Yeah.
now the doc may not agree with the McDonald's, you know,
I'm a Mexican food nut. I love Mexican.
I love Chipotle and
Have
I
you
love
ever
Mexican.
been to was it Sabor Latino down here?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's like a Latin food, but it's very clean. And
Hey,
it's
how you doing?
Really good, you know. Morning, how you been?
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show. We have Joe Thomas in studio, and those that watch on YouTube, I brought in a camera for you, Joe, today. So I'm glad you dressed nice.
Awesome.
You never know, it's a radio. You don't have to dress up for the radio, but you look great.
You don't have plexiglass here, though. So.
No plexiglass. No plexiglass.
We're okay.
No plexiglass. Well, you know, a couple things I wanted to talk to you about with annuities, because you know. When I first met you, I knew what annuities were a little bit, but I didn't realize there's a whole bunch of different kinds of annuities.
Right.
And I thought an annuity, there was just this one thing, you put money in and that was it. But there's a whole bunch of different annuities that do different things for people that have different, I guess, agendas.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the annuity today isn't grandpa's annuity. You know, they've changed drastically. You know, the annuities from 5 and 10 years ago are even changing now. The two main annuities that we do are either going to be indexed or it's income. And a lot of our clients will do both.
Well, what's that mean, index?
So index, we index it to the market. So the S&P 500, everybody's heard of the S&P 500 index, right? So you can index your money to the market, and if the index goes up, you're in, your money goes up. But it never goes down. If the market goes down, you don't lose a dime. Okay?
Wow, that sounds like a good deal.
You get a zero instead of a minus. So we go with index with some clients, and then we'll go with income, so they have an income stream guaranteed. And some of the index annuities turn into income. So they're kind of hybrid annuities in many ways. They do a lot of different things.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know that. Okay, now, so that's amazing. So the market goes up, your money goes up, but if the market goes down, your money doesn't go down.
You don't lose a dime. Yep.
Why isn't everybody doing this?
Well, you know, it's not for everybody. It's not for all money. It's for a percentage of your money that you want to keep safe. You know, when clients come to me after they hear the show, they say, well, you know, Joe, I like that idea of not losing money. That's a big deal. A zero is a big deal, you know, versus a minus 10% a year.
Well, and then the other one is, and I had no, I didn't know. I've heard a lot of guys talk about annuities, but they didn't really explain them very well. And the other thing is generating income for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. And this, you know, people that I know that's like my mother's retired, she's a widow, you know, and you know that extra income, it's life-saving for a lot of people.
Many times I've talked on this show about to the penny, you know how much you're going to get from Social Security? Well, you know, when somebody's going to retire, 62, 65, 67, they go, well, I'm going to get X number of dollars per month from Social Security. Well, with these annuities, income annuities, you know exactly to the penny how much you're going to get per month. Whether it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, we can guarantee that income, the insurance companies do, for the rest of your life. And guess what? Your spouse's life, too. No other product does that.
You know, it's funny that you say that because, as I get older, I meet more, there are more people in my circle that are retired, right?
Right.
But I was talking to one of our listeners that was on the cruise, and he laid down a whole bunch of money on something. And he's like, I don't care. He's like, I got my check coming at the beginning of the month. It comes at the beginning of every month, so I don't care. I'll spend all the money I got right now. I don't care.
We've done show after show, and it's called mailbox money.
Yeah.
You know, every month you're getting this check. And when you used to get checks, remember in the old days you used to get a check in the mail?
Yes.
Well, mailbox money now comes in a direct deposit in your checking account. Every month, I had one gentleman retired recently, and he said to me, wait a minute, I've worked 40 years. He worked down at the breakers for 40 years. And a maintenance guy. Not all the clients are multimillionaires, just so you know, Brian.
Yes.
Average clients, you know, average money. And he came to me and said, Joe, for 40 years I've been hustling and humping here. He goes, now I'm going to get a check every month for the rest of my life without doing anything? I said, yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand.
The way I would, this may be wrong terminology because I'm not, you're the financial expert on me, but to me, when you get an annuity, you're giving yourself a pension.
Exactly what it is.
Right?
That's what it is, a pension plan for the rest of your life. Yes, sir.
That sounds amazing. Well, listen, give Joe Thomas a call. He offers free consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are over the phone or Zoom. But if you're here local, you can do the in-office consultation. It's no charge. And Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you. And you can, and the things that we just talked about are just like just a tiny little percent of the different options.
Correct,
I mean, you've told me about some of these. It's
We're going to
actually
customize
amazing.
it to fit your needs.
Yeah, it's amazing how many different options there are. So give them a call. The number's 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll talk soon. All right, take care. And if you guys watch on YouTube, you can see Joe. I just had him there on the YouTube, on a camera phone. All right, well, let's go back to our phones, 888-465-2631. I want you guys to understand, I'm not attacking Megyn Kelly. I know it seems that way. This thing that they do at the college campuses is so good and so important. I want it to be successful and continue to be successful for many, many years. And like this, it's not going to be. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air once, twice. Yep, what's your name? Yes, you're on the air. Yes, Virginia. Yes, Vicky. Yeah. I don't know how tall Letitia is, but do you know how wide she is? She's wide too.
Charlie and Candace. Charlie has more biblical knowledge, and they both are good at debate. And they need to get someone within that age range, 31 left or 32, and have those abilities. Because Charlie is good. I mean, he has the biblical knowledge.
Well, the thing with debate, I know, Greg too is never going to say anything nice about me. And you just hang up on people. I was talking the other day. Those of you that listened to me on the air when I was 19 doing this, with the way the callers were having their way with me. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. It's a skill set I learned from Steve and developed over the years. And I'm not going to give away any of my secrets on the air that I've learned because I don't want to teach debate to the liberals out there. But it's a skill set to do a debate where you can win every time. And I can say with certainty, you haven't heard a caller clean my clock in a long time, even on days when I'm sick and haven't gotten any sleep, okay? And there's a skill set with debating. And Megyn Kelly just does not have it. And I looked at the lineup. It just seems like a lineup of famous people that'll get a turnout. And the way Megyn Kelly handled it last night, it's concerning to me that she's not even aware that she lost to these kids. She's not even aware.
No.
What's that?
She tends to get a little bit aggressive sometimes.
Well, a lot of Megyn Kelly, the two things that she is very well informed, very smart, and very good at her show. But two things help her. She's a star, right? And she's good looking. But not to these young people. They really don't know who she is that much, and she's grandma, so she doesn't mean anything to them. It'd be like me. You could bring the quarterback and head coach from the Dolphins in, and Mike would probably be going nuts, and I wouldn't even know who they were, right? And I'm not kidding. And that's how Megyn Kelly is to these people. She just doesn't have the skill set. If I tomorrow started doing, if tomorrow I went over to the sports station and tried to do sports talk, I would be like Megyn Kelly last night. I'd sound like an idiot. That's just not her skill set. And the people I mentioned, by the way, none of them are close to Charlie Kirk, Loomer, Savannah Hernandez, and Michael Knowles. But they need to cancel this damn tour because it's going to be a disaster. And like Rob Schneider, I love Rob Schneider. He was on Saturday Night Live before these kids were born, right? So he doesn't. It's a disaster.
candidate, but he can't do it? VP Vance.
J.D. Vance would be perfect. Yes. 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 There you go. That's it. That's the. Can't he? Why not? He can't do a listening tour? Of course he could. Absolutely. Yeah. No, J.D. Vance. Absolutely. Yeah. You nailed it. J.D. Vance. Yes. Yeah. J.D. Vance. That's it. It's not enough to have knowledge. And Ben Shapiro. Okay, I'm going to tell the other name. There's two guys that were angling. I didn't do it the first week. Benny Johnson's the other one, okay? Benny Johnson and Ben Shapiro both have been angling to take over. And I know Benny Johnson's been all over the place and has a role, and they like him and he's in. But they're not, they can't do what he did. And it's just going to be. Ben Shapiro is not a likable guy. He's not a likable guy. He might win in these debates, but he's not likable. No, and he's a dork. Yeah, and he's a dork. He's a geek. I mean, going around with the blue blazer and the khakis, he's a dork. Charlie Kirk was cool. You got to have a cool guy. All right, got to run. I'm late for the break. All right, do we break after? Oh my goodness, how long is the break? We'll do it after. Oh my, I'm apologizing, guys. I'm late on all the breaks. All right, let's check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with today's Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking?
And silver pushing towards that $50 number that we saw back in 2011. So silver is still doing very well, but still has a long way to go. And gold getting close to that $4,000 number that we were calling for at least by year's end, and we might get it sooner than later.
Yeah, I know a friend of mine years ago. He was always into the 1/10 ounce, gold coins, and I thought, no, that's so. A 10th ounce gold coin, that's a lot of money now. I mean, that's good. Your investment, that's a great way to go, right? I mean, the price of gold, fractional gold is spectacular. And I talk to you about fractional gold from time to time because you have smaller than a 10th ounce, but the major mints, they have 10th ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce gold coins, but there's even gold smaller than that, right, William?
Yes, there are. The bars, the coins come in, the smallest is about a 1/20th ounce coin that is produced by a couple of the countries. And then we have the 1 gram gold bars, which is 1/32nd basically of an ounce, which is very affordable. And of course, silver is still, some people call it the poor man's gold, but it's doing very, very well. And of course, that's in all different sizes. So.
Yeah, and I tell you a couple of things that people I know what they do. The fractional gold's awesome because you can tell there's gold for every budget, right? And it's a good thing. And also, when you need a little bit of money, you don't have to unload as much gold. And silver, a lot of people, a lot of people, they buy silver and then because it's less expensive and then turn it into gold later.
Often people at least get some kind of a precious metal and then swap it when they get enough.
Yeah, I mean, at these incredible prices, I mean, some people may say, well, I don't have enough for an ounce of gold. Well, yeah, but there's fractional gold, or, you know. All right, listen, William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m. His number, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his website, I'm sorry, you can find both his address and phone number on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great.
All right, we'll be right back. Okay.
Hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
This is Dr. Philip Appleton. You guys.
You want to do that, or like I could take off like the friendly tires?
No. It's going to be quick.
Gotcha.
The one live spot I'm going to make up tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
suppliers, whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. We'll give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing.
Oh, yeah, I got to do a quick recording with Joe Thomas right after I get off. Is that
okay.
so?
So what time?
Maybe like 10 after?
Okay, so like us to tell her like
Maybe a quarter.
9:15.
Yeah.
I'll just text her.
Oh, okay.
Tell her you call her like 9:15.
Okay.
Make sure you tell them.
It won't take long.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now, the Steve Kane Show.
All right, and okay, this will be a lightning round. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian, how are you? I was just thinking, who can forget that desk? You know, that was a...
See, yeah, I'm not just some creep. You remember, right? Come on.
That was a big ratings boost, I think, that desk, you know. But, you know, Brian, the skill set that Charlie had, I think we really going to appreciate how valuable he was. You know, it was interesting you mentioned J.D. Vance. I think you're right. I can't think of anybody else who, you know, he's an affable guy, he's a bright guy. I think he connects with the college people. Not a lot of people like that around.
Well, then they shouldn't have the tour. They should not have the tour. I mean, I was talking the other day about this David Lee Roth tour. I mean, have you seen the videos of it? No. Look it up. Oh, they got to stop it.
You can lose a lot of connection you made with people and a lot of goodwill in that. You really want to continue that high quality.
Well, there's a lot of ego going on. There's, you know, listen, Turning Point, you know, it's a list of celebrities that have worked their way in, and it's, you know, they're destroying his work.
Yeah, venture capital wouldn't work, you know.
No.
Very difficult, though, very difficult. But, yeah, J.D. Vance, I think, is a good choice.
That is a perfect choice.
Oh, no.
Perfect choice.
Yeah, the two of them, I think, you know.
Who's the second one?
Loomer?
Loomer would be good. Yeah, Loomer would be good. But J.D. Vance is perfect. He had a run in yesterday. Who was it? that he called a dip S yesterday. Who was it he was talking to? He said the whole thing. Yeah, it's on my ex. I can't remember. I don't have time to look at it. All right, appreciate the call, Brian. Real quick, let me tell you guys about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You know, you can lose 10 to 20% of your body fat in just 2 months, and results are typical with that. That is my experience, and my results are very, very typical. You know, this weight loss that I have is the only time I've gotten compliments from people in this listening audience about my looks. People always want to insult you. It's not that you're bad or look bad, but they always want to tell you when you don't look good. And I've had people tell me how good I look that hate me like the plague. Give them a call. And remember, it's a no-charge consultation, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How are you?
All right, Bill.
As for Megyn Kelly, she said this, I believe, after the film, that Roger Ailes required that, and I Googled it, and that's what that says, that Roger Ailes wanted to sexualize female acres. So, and all the time I saw her, her knees looked like they were glued together. But I haven't been a fan of Megyn Kelly until she started streaming.
I agree with you. Yes, I agree.
But Roger Ailes is the one that required that transition.
I don't know about that. The desk was there after he was gone, wasn't it?
No. On the movie, was it that? I don't know what the name of the
Bombshell.
I think that's where she first said it.
I don't buy that. I saw the movie. I don't remember that part in the movie. And, in that movie, it lost me when Megyn Kelly says, "Don't tell me the stories about me." Okay, Megyn Kelly, I know you don't want people talking about you. No, I don't buy that. I think that's, I think she proudly sat at that desk. Well, I don't expect her to say something different. But she didn't have to sit behind. She didn't have to sit behind a transparent desk with skirts on.
All right, but I never seen even a quarter of an inch between. It looks like her knees were glued together every time I seen her.
Yeah, but people would watch with the hope, the tease. It was the tease. All right, listen, we're out of time. All right. Take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And if you're on hold right now, you'll be first in line tomorrow morning. I'm sorry I didn't get to all the calls. I took every break late today. It's my fault. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. See you tomorrow at 6 a.m. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I got to get out of the way here for the next show, but subscribe if you're new.